Hello guys and welcome to the Whispers of the Old Gods complete set review. We see all the cards now. So we're gonna look through everything and I'm gonna give you my professional opinion on each of these cards. And yeah, you guys can use this Amaz rating or the Amaz tips to help you construct some very good standard decks. And yeah, because it's only going to be standard. I'm going to do another video for Arena, but this is just for standard. So once again, that's Nax and GVG. They're rotating out of the set. So no more Belchers, no more Dr. Booms, no more Mad Scientists, and stuff like that. And for each card, we're going to rate it out of 5 stars, okay? So 1 to 5. So if a card is like a 1 star, or I actually have a list here. So 1 star is basically unplayable, okay? So cards like Magma Rager, cards like Stone Skin Gargoyle, those are 1 star, okay? 2 stars is your fringe / medical / non-tier 1 archetype cards, okay? So stuff like Kazan Mystic would be 2 stars. Because, it's not like in your deck brainlessly, right? You want to play that in just the right meta. Echo of Medivh is another 2-star card, which is kind of like, like the Echo Duplicate Mage. Is not a tier 1 deck, but it's a good card in that deck, right? So other examples would be like Ancestor's Call and Hobgoblin. Those are 2 stars. And then we have the 3 stars, the often playable cards. So you have Spider Tank, Shield Maiden, Dark Cultist. Those are your 3-star cards. And then 4 stars are your solid playables. Those are the exciting ones, right? And they're included in most archetypes. So like Haunted Creeper, Dark Bomb, those are your 4 stars. And finally, 5 stars, we have the God cards. They are the near auto-includes in almost every deck. So we saw a lot of God cards before in GVJ and X, like Dr. Boom, Pilot to Shredder, we have Muster for Battle, and Tyrion Forging. So lots of things like that. So those are the 5 stars. So let's dive right into it. Mark of Yeshuraj is a Druid card, and it says 2 mana spell. Give a minion +2/+2, and if it's a beast, draw a card. So super similar to Power Shield. And we know that Power Shield is an insane card in Priest, right? It just, buffs the board presence, and then you get to draw a card off it, replaces itself. It's always valuable in all stages of the game. So if you play this in a Beast Druid, it's going to be nutso, right? It's a Mark of the Wild that draws you a card. That's pretty crazy. If you cast it on a non-beast, it's just a Mark of the Wild, so a little bit less value there. But if it draws the card, it's insane. So our Beast Druids aren't going to be any good. I think it actually is, since the combo is going to be gone. It's going to be Beast Druid, and it's going to be Cthulhu Druid, right? So I'm going to give this a 3 stars. 3 stars for Mark of Yeshuraj. The effect is good enough that you want to explore this in Beast Druid. Onwards to Feral Rage. Feral Rage, 3 mana. 3 mana, you choose one. You get to have a little bite, a mini bite without the armor, or you get to healing touch yourself in the form of armor. So gain 4 attack or gain 8 armor. This is a pretty good one-off in most decks, because like you can see, right, when you look at this card, you go like, wow, this is really good against certain types of decks, right? Like Freeze Mage, you gain armor, that's pretty good. When you're against not Freeze Mage, like a mid-range, you can actually gain the attack and, do a little bit of a Shadow Bolt, right? Obviously, you take the damage to the face, but because of the versatility of this card that offers, it's nice in a lot of matchups. However, you are still playing a 3 mana spell that usually might not improve your position. I mean, you would play a 3 mana minion instead, usually. In just mid-range matchups, that's just better. So I really don't see this as a 2-of. And once again, this is kind of like a meta call, right? You draw this, it's a Shadow Bolt, and you're facing against 5/5s. Like, this is really bad against mid-range, I think. And this is pretty good against, like, aggro and Freeze Mage, because the 8 Arbor Claws does come up pretty well. But then if you have this, when you are playing against, like, Control Warrior, you're gonna feel pretty stupid, I think. So I'm gonna give Feral Rage a 2 stars. Not too good. If there's a meta full of Freeze Mages, then sure, you can slide one of these in. I don't even think you need 2 of these to beat Freeze Mages. Dark Arakoa, 6 mana 5/7 taunt. That's already really good, but it has a bonus, right? Battle Cry, give your Cthulhu +3 stats. Wow, is this card overloaded with value? We usually see 5 mana, 6 mana minions, as a 5/5, right? Like 5/5 is like the factory standard stats for minions. And as a 6 mana 5/7, it gets to trade with one of the 5/5s very, very well. And you still get a 5/2. And it's a taunt. That's insane, right? It protects your smaller creatures from dying. It's like, it's just 6 mana 5/7 taunt is insane already, okay? Like, it's nuts. And for this to give +3 to your Cthulhu means that your Cthulhu is going to have like a much better impact late game. It can also buff your you know, cards that need your Cthulhu to be a 10 attack or more. So this card is just so jam-packed of value. I'm going to give this a 4 stars. You play Cthulhu, Druid, you're going to put this in. I just don't see how this is going to be cut from that archetype. So you're going to play this, and you're going to be happy about this. Adult Grizzly. 3 mana 2/2 Beast. After you summon a minion, give it +1/+1. Very similar to Power of the Wild, in the sense that if you have this on the board, you get to Power of the Wild on every single minion, yes? It is a 3 mana 2/2, right? So when you play a 3 mana card, you kind of expect to have 3/4 stats, or 4/3 stats, or something like that, right? So for this card to be effective, you do need to proc it at least 2 times, right? If it procs no times, you're obviously, it's really bad. If you proc it 1 time, it gets its value back-ish. If you proc it 2 times, it starts being good. And anything else is kind of like, you know, cherry on the top and stuff like that. So, how good is this? Well, I mean, it is better than played, right? I mean, it does work on Living Roots, since Living Roots is summon minions. It works on your new Force of Nature. You get 3/3 treants instead. But the 2/2 body is kind of awkward, right? You don't want to play this on turn 3. So, a 3 mana card that you can't play on turn 3 is a little awkward, right? Compared to MC Tech sometimes, right? You don't want to play on turn 3. You want to hold it off for value. So, not too good. I'm going to give this 2 stars. It's very, it's like, if you're going to play a Swarm Druid, then you can with this card. But with all the Death Rattles being gone, like Haunted Creeper and the Rubiate Egg, this card definitely loses its, shine, I guess. It seems like this came out like 1 expansion too late. So, I don't think it's, like, too good right now. Claxy Amberweaver. This is exactly the face you have when you face against Dr. Broom. 4 mana 4/5 Yeti already, right? It has a bonus. Battlecry. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack, you gain +5 health. So this becomes like a mini Ancient of War. Well, yeah, pretty much Ancient of War, 4/10, right? For 4 mana, which is absolutely nuts though. Absolutely nuts. Wow, 4 mana 4/10, right? Like, just the value is just so overwhelming. However, you look at this card a little bit more and go like, wow, how often am I going to play this on turn 4? Well, you can do double Beckoner of Evil and then play this. You can do this and then Cthulhu's Chosen and then Beckoner of Evil, Cthulhu's Chosen, and then this, for example. It's pretty good. But you're not going to get this on turn 4 too often. Like, 4 mana 4/5 is still fine, right? Another way to look at this is, wow, when you play a lot of Cthulhu cards, late game you draw this, you play a 4 mana 4/10, and then you spend your 6 mana doing something else. And that is also very efficient, right? If you pair this with like stuff that gives taunt, like Argus, that you can make your own Ancient of War, and that is pretty damn sweet. With removal being a little bit, you know, being a little bit removed, I guess, in terms of your silence and your BGHs, you know, stuff like that. People actually have to use spells to remove stuff. So this is actually like really, really decent. We're gonna give this a 3 stars. Not as good as 4 stars, I think. Just because, like, you know, it is still a vanilla minion. You're not affecting the board immediately, but it is good enough that you are probably gonna play it in the Cthulhu deck, right? The reward is like good enough. 4 drops, it also got a little bit better because Keeper of the Grove got nerfed. So the 4 drop slot is a little bit more open. So there you go. Mire Keeper. 4 mana 3/3. Choose one. Summon a 2/2 slime. So it's a 3/3 that summons a 2/2. Or you get to cast Wild Growth for free. Now, if you look at all the 4 drops now, there's actually not really insane 4 drops, right, in the category, right? Like Shredder's gone. Just basically Shredder is gone, right? The best 4 drops in the game right now are like True Silver, and that's about it, right? That's like the auto picked 4 drop. It's True Silver. All the minions are kind of like 3/5s or like 5/4s, like you know, like what's the 5/4 minion? Tomb Pillager? Yes, Tomb Pillager. There you go. Like, those are your premium 4 drops. And then you look at this card and go like, wow, this is actually a really good card, right? You play Mire Keeper sometimes on turn 1. You coin innervate Mire Keeper, summon a 2/2. How do they win? It's 5 damage on the board. It's keep on whacking their face. And it also trades really well early game, right? Because, like, usually when you play this on turn 1, you have a 3/3 and 2/2. They play a 3/2 in response. When you play, like, you want to trade the 3/2 and then keep on going face with the 3/3. This is a little bit better compared to Yeti, right? If you quite innovate Yeti and they play a 3/2, then you kind of go like, well, I guess I have to go face. I can't really trade because that's stupid. So in that sense, it's actually really good. You can also, the wild growth situation actually comes up quite often, right? Because we don't have the Force of Nature Savage Roar anymore. So sometimes you do want to ramp up to your bigger creatures. And in that sense, if you play this on turn 4 at 3/3, and then you play Dark Arakoa, for example, the slime actually turns into a Dark Arakoa, so that's insane. Yeah, the more you look at this card, the more you're gonna like it, and the more you feel like, oh my god, if I'm playing a Druid deck, I'm gonna play 2 of these. So this is 5 stars, alright? This is just like, you're really happy playing this. Like, the stats on this is insane, right? Oh my god. When I first saw this card, I wasn't too excited. But with Keep of the Grove nerfed again, right? Like, the Keep of the Grove nerf just makes so many 4 drops so much more exciting, right? Because Keep of the Grove is like your standard, oh, I'm just click 2 of these and just auto pick this. This is insane, alright? You're gonna play this, and you're gonna be super, super happy. And that's the slime that comes out. That's adorable. Forbidden Ancient, 1 mana, 1/1. Epic card. Battlecry, spend all your mana, gain +1/+1 for each mana spent. So this is the first XXX minion, I guess. XXX being like the mana you spend is the stats that it gets. It's actually pretty relevant, right? I mean, you always get to curve out. So if you miss like a turn 2 drop, you miss a turn 3 drop, you get a 2/2 or 3/3. And if you don't miss it, then yeah, you want to hold on to this to make a 7/7 or 8/8. Since BGH is gone, it's actually very good. A lot of people are saying that, oh, if it gets silenced, it's really bad. But that doesn't come up too often, I guess, because, you know, if this gets silenced, then your other things don't get silenced. I mean, it's fine. And silence is not going to be played too much anyways. So the silence cost doesn't come too much. But the fact that you're playing a creature that's a little bit worse at all stages makes this a bit bad, right? Because, like, how do you play it? Like how do I put it? I mean, a 3 mana 3/3 is not what you want to play. A 4 mana 4/4 is also not what you want to play, right? 4 mana 4/4s are generally not that good. They generally need to have a little bit more exciting stuff. 5 mana 5/5, it seems like it's the best. And 6 mana 6/6, it seems like it's really good too, right? Those are the 2 situations where this becomes like the best, I guess. But like, at the same time, you're still running a vanilla creature. Like, how many vanilla creatures are you gonna run? You still want to interact with more of your opponent's board, right? Like Sylvanas does that. Emperor interacts with your own hand size like a little bit more. So you know, it's good, but then you're not happy playing it. You get what I mean? Like, it's good to play at all stages of the game, but the reward you get is not high, right? Because of the flexibility it offers. So this is 3 stars. There are some situations where it's good, like Bran, I guess. Bran combo into this, but I think that's like too cute. It's a little bit too cute, right? You play turn 8, you play not turn 8, but maybe like turn 6, you play Bran, and then you play this for 3, it's a 5/5. And that's not really good, right? Turn 8, you play Bran, and you play this for 5 mana, it's a 9/9. See, it's not even that good, right? Because 8 mana, you can just play this at an 8/8 already. So I don't think the brand interaction is that insane. You just get a brand for free. It's kind of like getting an innervate. So it's not really that good. I don't think the brand clause is that good. Wisps of the Old Gods, of course. Yeah. They went and Blizzard went and were all like, wow, Dark Whispers was so good! Such good design! We're gonna play it as get it as a turn 7. So that's just awkward. That's just really awkward. You compare this to Everything Can Happen. Everything is awesome. I mean, the Shaman card, and that's not even played, right? That is not even played. This card is different than that because, well, it has the flexibility. When you don't have a board, you get the 7/11s. But when is 7/11s actually relevant, right? It's not. It's just not. It just gets ignored, or it gets traded down by like an AoE or something, right? It's just one mana 1/1s are not hard to deal with. another problem with this card is that like both cases are kind of bad. If you compare this to Storm Champion seems amazing, right? You get 6/6 no matter what, and you also get the mini buff. And Storm Champion's not seen play because, well, it's really hard to get a board sometimes. And when you have a board, you want to be doing something else. You want to be buffing your board more. You want to be playing like Death Rattle minions or like drawing cards and stuff like that. So this card is pretty damn bad. 2 stars. Flood Druid may play this, but otherwise, no, not really. Alright, let's move back to this for a second. Alright, so apparently the brand combo does not work with this card because you cannot spend your mana 2 times. Alright, so brand with this is bad. And the legendary. Oh my god! Oh my god! Fandral Staghound. This is awesome. This is crazy-gasmic. 4 mana, 3/5. You get both. You choose one cards, okay? It's cards, not just minions, right? So, well, first of all, let's look at the minions, right? You have Druid the Claw. You can 4/6 taunt and charge, and then you get a 5/5 Druid the Flame. You get a you get a very weird Druid the Saber, a 3/2 stealth and charge, right? That's kind of a weird one, but that's fine, right? That's 3/2 charge. It's good. Those are fine. But the value of this card really comes on spells. I think it really comes on spells. It comes on like Wrath, right? We don't really know how the Wrath one works. You're gonna be dealing 3 damage to one thing and dealing 1 damage to something and draw a card, or you're gonna be doing 4 damage to something and draw a card. I mean, I don't know. Both cases seem insane to me, right? Living Roots. You basically play an implosion, right? Living Roots becomes an implosion, and then you got like Starfall being insane. I don't think Starfall is still gonna be played though, but Starfall becomes really insane, and then you got your Ancient of Lore, you got an Ancient of War. Just wow, this is like when Brand was released, Druids were like super sad because choose one effects are not battlecries, right? But now it seems like that this is like a brand for Druids, right? It's only be playable, and 4 mana 3/5 is pretty nuts, though, right? A lot of people go like, wow, you can't play this on turn 4, it gets no value, right? I disagree with that. You play this on turn 4 and they have to kill it. And 5 health is pretty hard to kill a turn 4, in my opinion, on an empty board. And then you get to play your Druid Claw. And then Druid Claw protects this. And then you get to go crazy. Another way you can do this is you can play this on turn 6, play this, play Wrath. Once again, you get an empty board, right? Very, very nuts. We're going to give this a 4 stars. Very, very good card, I think. Very excited about this. And, I mean, look at the card art. He looks awesome. Just look at him. Oh, my God. And that's all the Druid cards. Overall, all the Druid cards are pretty high rating. Just because most of the Druid cards got nerfed. It's pretty crazy, right? Druids are never going to disappear because of Innervate, right? If you have a card that is Innervate and it's Wild Growth, it's never going to disappear. It's always going to be relevant because they can always cheat the system. Alright, let's go on to the Hunter class. Hunter. What do we have? First off, we have the Fiery Bat. 1 mana, 2/1. Basically the huge toad effect, right? It deals 1 damage to a random enemy. This would look really stupid if Leper Gnome wasn't nerfed. But Leper Gnome was nerfed. So this looks really good now, right? This looks really good. One of the drawbacks of this card is that late game, you don't want to deal 1 damage to a random enemy, right? You want to deal 1 damage to the face. And the claws doesn't come out too much when it's late game, right? So you really want to play this on turn 1 or even turn 2, turn 3, right? Playing this late is pretty bad, in my opinion, because it just dies without the Leper Gnome effect. So it's not as good as Leper Gnome, but it's still pretty good. So you would play this in Aggro Hunter. I'll give it 3 stars. Yeah, the later it is, the worse it becomes. It's kind of like the Archer, right? The Archer lady from TGT. Where it's bad late game, but very bad early game. It's kind of like that. On the Hunt. Wow. Deal 1 damage, summon a 1/1 Mastiff. They had to reprint Elven Archer for some reason. I don't know why this happened. I mean, this does get a little bit of extra value of spell power. And the Elven Archer is a beast. But like, what? Like, what? What? I don't understand. You can play this with Malagos, and then you deal 6 damage. That's kind of cute, I guess. So maybe there's a Hunter deck that goes like Emperor, and then Malagos Arcane shot on the hunt. That's 24 damage. And you still get a hero power. That's 28 damage. We're gonna give this a 2 stars just because of that interaction, right? Just because that can happen, we're gonna give it 2 stars. A lot of people feel like this is good with lock and load, and I feel like this is trash with lock and load, right? This is just absolutely abysmal. You're not playing Elven Archer in your deck, okay? You're not. It's just not good, right? It's like eating 10 hamburgers to go to a food eating contest to train up yourself. Like, that's not how it works, okay? That's not how it works. So yeah, not too excited about that one. The Mastiff looks like it's like, what the heck am I a card? Why am I so bad? Like, look at his face. Karen Grub, 3 mana 2/5. Vanilla creature. Wow, so boring. 3 manas, we have so much more exciting stuff, like Brand Bronzebeard. Like, even a 3/4 is much more exciting than this. The only good part about this is that it curves into Howlmaster quite well, because you can play this turn 3, Howlmaster this turn 4, you get a 4/7, that's actually quite relevant. But like, the 3 drops on Hunters is so stacked already, right? You got your Eaglehorn Bows, you got your Animal Companions, which is like tons better than this card, and then you got your Kill Command. Like, just 3 mana slot is just, no, I don't want to play this on 3 mana. And Hunt Mastering in Animal Companion is like much better anyways. So Karen Grub gets a 2 from me. I'm pretty sure it's not going to seek standard play. Outside of, like, you know, I don't know, Board Control Hunter for some reason. Forlorn Stalker, oh my god. Speaking of another card that came a little bit late, right? All the Death Rattle minions are rotated out already. So why would you want to play a 3 mana 4/2 that buffs Death Rattle minions in your hand +1/+1, right? There's just no targets. There's just actually just no targets. And you're playing a 4/2 on top of that. Right? Oh god. There is one Death Rattle minion that just got introduced, which we'll get on later, but like, playing a 4/2 is already really bad. You want the effect to be like really good. Something like destroy a 7 attack minion or greater. 7 attack minion or greater, something like that, you know? You expect some kind of text like that, but well, this is not good enough. It's a 2 stars for me. You know, some stupid Death Rattle Hunter might play this, but then even a Death Rattle Hunter might not even play this. That's when you know it's bad. Infest! Give your minions the Web Spinner ability for 3 mana. You kind of look at this as like, oh wow, this is kind of like Arcane Intellect, I guess. But then you for one, you need a board. 2, you need to kill your board, so you can't go face. You actually need to trade to actually draw the card. And 3, you can be playing Kill Command instead, right? Like, why would you want to draw cards to kill your opponent when you can just draw the kill your opponent card immediately and just kill your opponent, right? Plus, this doesn't even draw you cards. This draws you a random beast, right? It doesn't even draw from your deck, and that's much worse. It's a 1 star. It's not going to be played in standard at all. No, you're not going to see this in standard. You see this in standard and you go like, wow, free win. Get your stars and let's move on. 4 mana 3/3 Infested Wolf. Death Rattle, summon 2 1/1 spiders. So it's basically Savannah Jaime Jr., right? That's cool. That's cool. I mean, the card art looks pretty awesome too. The 1/1 spiders are beasts. That's different from the Haunted Creeper. Haunted Creeper has special spiders, and special spiders are not really beasts, right? So that's not bad. I mean, if you play one of these, you're gonna, 1, guarantee a sticky board, and 2, you're gonna guarantee, like, you know, beast synergy, like Kill Command or like Houndmaster. It's just gonna work. However, if you compare to Shredder, it's like much worse, right? Shredder has 4 attack, and when you have Death Rattle minions, you want higher attack than health. That's why Wobbling Runs is not seen play at all, because it doesn't even pressure your opponent. Your opponent just usually just ignores your Wobbling Runs. With Infested Wolf, sometimes they might ignore it. And if they ignore it, you might get Howlmaster value. Like, that might be a thing. So, yeah, you know, it might be good. In a Death Rattle Hunter, you're definitely gonna play this. So we're gonna give this a 4 stars. 4 stars for Infested Wolf. It's a solid card, and you're gonna play a Death Rattle Hunter, and you're gonna be happy about it, because at the 4 drop, you're losing. There's so much stuff that you lost on 4 health or 4 mana. So this is gonna be good. Next card is the Giant Sandworm. Oh, baby. 8 mana, 8/8. It's a beast. What does it have? Whenever this minion kills another minion, it may attack again. So it's basically Super Wind Fury, only if you trade. Now, when have we ever, in Standard, when have we ever seen an 8 mana 8/8? Right? Like, when have we ever seen one? Yeah, never, right? 8 mana 8/8 Taunt from Druid, no. 8 mana 8/8 Fossilized Devil Sword, no. 8 mana 8/8 Ragnaros? Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Ragnaros has charge. This does not have charge. I don't know why you want to clear the board and then go to face. 1 star. You're not going to play this. If you play this, it's going to come from some random effects that generate random minions or something, right? This is just not good. But on the bright side, oh my god, we have 8 mana Call of the Wild, summon all 3 animal companions, party in the house. Wow. Look at this card. This is insane. Like, if you look at Animal Companion, right? Animal Companion costs 3 mana and costs 1 card. Okay? Now, usually, when you play 3 Animal Companions, you're spending 9 mana and spending 3 cards. This is 8 mana and this is 1 card. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. So based on that, the value is just like, you know? Like, holy Jesus, this card is good. Now, what is the actual utility of this card? Well, the utility is insane as well, okay? So you play this card, you get a 5 attack charge no matter what, okay? You get a 5 attack charge, and you get a 5/4 taunt, and then you get a 2/4 that buffs all your minions that's already on the board plus 1 attack. That's actually insane, because now every time it's like at turn 8, or it's approaching turn 8, your opponents go like, okay, if I don't clear the board, my opponent is going to have all these minions buffed by plus 1 attack, and a Huffer is going to smack me in the face. You get what I mean? Like, it's just going to happen. And when you have cards that make your opponent play a little bit weirder, it's always a plus. Think about Force of Nature Savage Roar, right? You make your Warlock, you make your Handlock opponents always play like, oh my god, I need to be above 15 health. I can't play the minion because I need to remove stuff because I might die. Like, cards that make your opponent's game plan go out the door, it's always a good card in my opinion. I'm going to give this 4 stars. It's a very, very strong card. You play mid-range hunter, you're playing this. A little bit too slow for aggro. But, oh my god, this card is fun. Look at them. Look, all of these pieces are super happy as well. So, that's an extra plus. And then finally, we got the Hunter Legendary. Princess. 5 mana, 6/5. It's already really good, right? It's a beast. And then Battle Cry, trigger friendly minions, Death Rattle effect. So before Infested Wolf, we go like, wow, this is no targets. So this targets Infested Wolf, so that's pretty good. This targeting Savannah Highmane, I don't know how you can lose if you do that. It's like a mini Dr. Broom in that sense, right? And moreover, if you play this as just a 6/5, it's actually fine. Like, the 5 mana 6/5 is actually quite relevant, especially in terms of Hunter, right? Where you do want 6 attack to go to the face, right? This is like Savannah Highmane stats, right? And if you get to proc this, it's actually much better. Obviously, we don't have no Scientist or Creeper anymore, but yeah, this is good. The extra effect is gonna work, and you're gonna play this in Death Rattle Hunter. 4 stars. 4 stars. Pretty good card in my opinion. And of course, every time you beat your opponent with this card, you have to go Alright. So Hunter gets some good cards, gets some bad cards. You know. Alright. Good balance. Onwards to the Mage class. Mage. We got a 2 mana Shatter. Entomb and Shatter. Destroy a frozen minion for 2 mana. Like, my first impression is like, why do you want to do that? Isn't the frozen minion kind of removed already? You get what I mean, right? And it feels like it doesn't fit any archetype. Like, Temple Mages don't need to remove minions anyways, because they can either do it with their spells, or they can just ignore it and spells go to the face. Like, you don't need to have a 2 mana spell that only works when something is frozen. God, that's hard. Freeze Mage, also, you don't, right? Frost Nova Doomsayer already destroys all minions, right? Frost Nova Doomsayer, you're casting Shadow on every single minion. It's like, wow, that's just it's much better deal. And comboing this with like Water Elemental or like Cone of Cold is just hard. This is just bad. If you think about it, this is just bad. Play Polymorph instead. Play Fireball. Just play Frostbolt instead. Jesus Christ, right? This gets like a 2 stars from me. Pretty bad. Twilight Flamecaller, 3 mana 2/2. Battlecry, deal 1 damage to every enemy minion. So kind of like 1 mana 2/2 that casts an Arcane Explosion for you. they're casting Arc Explosion for you, right? For 3. That's pretty good, right? I mean, there's a lot of value packed into one card. But then, you think about it and go like, wow. How often am I actually killing things with this card, right? Paladins are no longer have muster. So that's already a little bit of a bad timing. You know, aggro hunters, sure, that's like a good one. But against every single mid-range deck, you're going to feel very stupid playing this. It's going to be your Ironforged Rifleman, right? You play this against Druid. They have a Druid Claw, you play this. Okay, you just Ironforged Rifleman. This doesn't even go face. You don't even have the option. It's a 2-2, right? A 1-mana 2-2 is good, but not on turn 3, right? Like, when has Zombie Chow on turn 3 ever been amazing? So, because of the lack of targets and because the body is just not that good, and who plays Arcade Explosion anyways? This is gonna be like a 2 stars. It's just not good enough. Not enough targets. Oh gosh, Faceless Summoner. 6 mana 5/5. Already pretty good stats, right? Battlecry, summon a random 3 cost minion. So the wet dream is to get like what? Mukla? Injured Blade Master, since those battle cries don't occur. But then you look at all the 3 cost minions, and they're all actually really good, right? You usually 3 3s or 2 4s, right? Or 4 3s, you know, some mixture of those. And they don't have bad effects. 2 cost minions have a lot of bad effects, like Explosive Shape, like Doomsayer, you know, Unstable Ghoul might be bad, Vitality Totem sometimes does nothing. 3 cost minions are very, very good. Like, they are superb. You might get even one of the twins. Brand Bronze Spirit is a 3-drop. This is just good. I don't see how you cannot run this in Temple Mage, because this says get board control back. Or fill up your board, not get board control back, but like, you have board now, and you're happy. This is 4 stars for me. Just so much stats packed into 1 minion, right? The average of this card is like 8/8 or 7/9, and you will play a 6 mana 7/9. Alright, we have Cult Sorcerer for 2 mana. 2 mana 3/2. Already really good. Spell damage +1. You stop right there. That's already really good. And on top of that, you get a little bit of bonus. After you cast a spell, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. I don't think the Cthulhu clause actually comes up too often. The 2 mana 3/2 spell damage +1 is amazing. I mean, come on, right? Like, this is so much better than the Kobold Geomancer. Like, a good part of this, this card, is that in Temple Mage, you're going to be very, very happy about this, because Mad Scientist is rotated out, right? Before this card came out, you went like, oh, 2 Sorcerer's Apprentice, 2 Frostbolts, and that's it, right? Unstable Portal is rotating out, and there were not a lot of good 2-drops. This is your good 2-drop. It's a 3/2. You're happy about a 2 mana 3/2 already. The spell damage clause does come up pretty often, because it does help your Forgotten Torch, does help your Frostbolts, right? Arcane Missiles helps that. It just helps a lot of things. So I'd be pretty happy running this card. I would give this a 3 stars. You're gonna be happy with this. It's a playable. And Temple Mages, you need more playable cards. Demented Frostcaller for 4 mana. Also known as the Frost Waker. Exact same stats as the Flame Waker, but after you cast a spell, you freeze a random non-frozen enemy. It doesn't say that on the text, but it doesn't freeze the same thing twice, right? So, cool. The optimal situation you want to play this in is when you want to lock down your opponent's board. Like, I can see a situation where you have a Demented Frostcaller, or even 2, and then you cast spells, and your opponent's minions are frozen completely. Like they just lock them down. However, there's a big however. This is 2 attack, right? You're not removing the board, so you have to keep on locking them down, and you're pressuring with 2 attack. Like, that doesn't really make sense to me, right? It's a 4 mana card as well. 4 mana 2/4s are pretty fringe, right? I mean, 4 mana 2/5s, like your Wii Spell Stopper and your Dollar Mage. Wait, yeah. The Ancient Mage, I mean, the ones that goes like, oh, I forgot about things, right? Those are not even played. Like, 2/5s are really, really hard to play correctly. And this is a 2/4. And you need to combo this card. So many things need to be working out for this card. And for the final blow, you face against a non-weapon class, and you freeze their face, and you're gonna go like, why am I doing this? 2 stars for me. There's just so many things need to work out with this card to be good. But when it does work out, it works out really well. I just don't see that situation coming up way too often. Servant of... What the heck am I doing with this card? If you are me, then you will play this card because RNG always favors me, right? But if you are a normal person, playing a 5 mana 5/4 demands so much, right? A 5 mana 5/4 would be like something like the Blackwing Corruptor, where it deals 3 damage to something. Now that's a good battle cry effect, right? Something like Lotheb would be a good one. But if you play a 5 mana 5/4 and it fireballs itself, you're gonna be looking so stupid, right? And then, when are you actually gonna be playing this card? Are you gonna play this card when your opponent has minions and then cast a Blessing of Kings on them? Or are you gonna play this when you have a lot of minions and then cast removal on your minions? It's just weird. Granted, there 70% of the spells are actually... Like, 70% of the spells are actually, like, good for you, right? Because there's, like, your Arcane Intellects, your card draws are always good, and there's always the one-sided effects, like Holy Nova. Like, Holy Nova is never bad, right? You know, Deadly Shot, for example, it'll never shoot your own targets. But the 30% of the time that you're gonna lose because you cast this card, it's gonna make you shake your head, and it's gonna make you pull your hair, right? 1 star, you're not playing this. No, this is just no. You can't. Why are you playing this card? No, bad. Next. Oh god. Oh, that was terrible. Forbidden Flame though. 0 mana card. Spend all your mana and deal damage to a minion. So it cannot go face. So it's not your pocket Pyroblast. But it does have the versatility of scaling with your mana, right? If you're valuing this card just by itself, it's actually reasonable, right? It's not too good, but it's reasonable. Turn 2, you get to kill something because 3/2s are everywhere. 5 mana kill something. That's 5 health. That comes up pretty often, you know. It's actually pretty nice. But the bonus of this card is when you combine it with Mage cards. Mana Worm gets a bonus from this. Flamewaker gets a bonus from this. You can actually cast this for 0. And you can use Flamewaker, right? You can use it with the new spell damage minion. Cast it for 0, deal 1 damage. That's completely fine. So, yeah. This is, like, when you actually apply the mage effects, this gets significantly better. So, yeah, Temple Mage, I will play this. This seems fine. I will give this a 3 stars, right? You will actually consider this because it could be an interface sometimes. And, yeah. It doesn't work with Sorcerer's Apprentice, though. So, that's the one thing it doesn't work with. Kabbalah's Tomb. 5 mana Nourish for a mage, but it doesn't draw from your deck. It adds 3 random mage spells to your hand instead. Keep in mind that it can add itself, so you could technically get infinite value, and just like, you know, if you top deck this and go like, oh, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this, I'm going to play this, and you just win, right? However, the fact that you're not drawing from your deck is actually a little bit of a disadvantage, because when you draw from your deck, you know you're going to get something good sooner or later, right? You're not going to play a bad deck, I hope. And random spells, yeah, sometimes you get secrets when you're playing Temple Mage, and then sometimes you get like removal when you're playing Freeze Mage, when you don't need any more of those. Like, just, you don't really need this. I mean, all mage spells are good, but you're not drawing for a deck. You're getting random stuff you can't really plan. Makes this kind of a I'm going to give this a 2 stars. Not too positive of this card. Don't think it's going to see play too much. Outside of maybe, you know, Fatigue Mage. Or like Reno Mage. Or something like that. And then we have the Mage Legendary. Anomalous. He looks scary as heck. 8 mana, 8/6. Death Rattle, destroy everything. Oh man, like, that's just... What? That's just a weird card, don't you think? It's really weird. It's like a delayed Flame Strike. Because... well, it's basically what it is, right? Or delay Twisting Nether, in a sense. You play this, and you lose your board as well. Deal 8 damage to all minions. That includes your own minions, right? So, I don't know. Why would I want to play a 8 mana Flame Strike that only comes in after a turn, right? So you play this, your opponent goes like, wow, I can either kill this now or ignore it. And isn't both cases just bad for you, right? I don't see this being good. 1 star is what I'm going to give this. Just... I just don't see a situation or a scenario or even a deck that you want to play this in. So, yeah, it's okay. It's fine. Mage is good legendaries anyways, right? But man, this is disappointing. So overall, Mage Minions gets a lot of good, good tempo cards. It's interesting. A good sort of cards. Paladin is next. Oh my god, Paladin is interesting because we're losing Minibot, we're losing Muster. Paladin needs to go a new direction. And this is now the new direction. It's the buff your weenies and, swarm the board and keep on buffing them and keep on trying to, get board control and going phase. Kind of like the new Zoo. Or at least that's what the direction Blizzard wants the new Paladin to go in. So let's go ahead and see. 1 mana Divine Strength. Give it minion +1/+2. You look at this card and you go like, wow. They definitely screwed up when they printed Avenge, right? Avenge is a 1 mana +3/+2. And they go like, oh, whoops, our bad. Let's not do that again. 1 mana card should actually be +1/+2. You can kind of look at this as kind of like +1. It's a 1/2 charge. Because you're going to play it on a minion that's already on board, and then you're going to attack with it. So it's kind of like charge. Very weird card, though, don't you think? You obviously get a little bit more value on Divine Shield targets, so that you buff it +1 attack, you can trade, and it's much more relevant. But, man, you play this on a Silverhand Recruit, you're playing a 3 mana 2/3. That's pretty bad. A little awkward, right? The only combo mechanic I can see this card having is with the twins and with the Jinny, right? Because every time you cast a spell on those creatures, they get an extra effect and stuff like that. So with the Seal of Champions, with Divine Strength, with Blessing of Kings, maybe that archetype might come around. But this is one of the more awkward ones, right? So I would give Divine Strength probably a 2, just because it might be in the buff deck. But otherwise, I don't think you would ever play this in a normal aggro Paladin or a normal control Paladin. It's just not good enough. Not enough value on the card. A Light in the Darkness. 2 mana. Discover a minion to fight the hentai. Oh, you give it +1/+1 as well. So the card you get will get a little bit more buff. And the +1/+1 is actually quite relevant now that BGH is gone. So you can always pick like a 6 attack minion and be pretty happy about it, right? Wow, this is a bad Raven Idol. This is actually a little bit worse than the Raven Idol. Granted, it is better than Raven Idol in what it discovers, because it discovers Paladin cards, right? The Paladin minions are actually like a tad bit better than Druid minions with your Outer Peacekeeper and your Tyrians and whatnot, like, and your Udamons. Like, this is fine. Like, this is fine because when you discover a minion, the class cards actually get a bonus, right? So, it's good that way. But 2 mana to draw a card. Just, God, that's not what you want to do. That's a little bit bad. I would give this 2 stars. You might even play this in control, weirdly enough. But, like, 2 mana to ramp is not exact. Like, this text is not exactly the ramp spell I'm looking for. So, not too good. Insane in Arena, though. Stand Against Tentacles. 5 mana, summon 5/1/1 Silverhand Recruits. With Quartermaster being rotated out of the set, I just don't see how this is good, right? I mean, I guess you could combo it with, like, Knife Juggler and, like, the Steward of Darkshire. But other than that, it's like 5/1/1s, and you never want to play 5/1/1s. That's so bad, right? You never want to split your bodies across like that. Vulnerable to AoE, like Swipe. When it doesn't trade properly, because every time you trade, it's kind of like Light Spawn, right? If you trade it, you lose it. You lose the stats. So, not really too happy about this card. I'm gonna give this like a 1 star. Just don't see this being played at all. So, yeah. And don't combo this with Wild Pyromancer, please. Selfless Hero. Isn't it weird that Paladin cards have the most tentacles on them? Just a little weird. Alright, as a 1 mana 2/1, Death Rattle. Give a random friendly minion Divine Shield. So 1 mana 2/1 is already not bad, I guess, in aggro decks. And if you get to proc this on another minion, it's actually pretty good. However, the problem arises that when you play this and your opponent doesn't kill it, like when you don't trade with it, your opponent's gonna kill everything else and then kill Selfless Hero. And then it's just a 2/1 that didn't do anything, right? So that's kind of awkward. When you play Selfless Hero, I believe you want to go aggro. I can't believe you want to... I don't see how you want to play this in the mid-range or even the control deck, right? Definitely not control. So you want to go face more. And this card does not let you go face because your opponent's going to trade kind of well, right? So I just very French playable. 2 stars for me. I'm pretty sure you would play this in aggro, but I just don't see this happening too much. A 1 mana 2/1 is still fine though, right? Since they left Leper Gnome, the only 1 mana 2/1 playables are like Abusive Sergeant and maybe like the Worgen Infiltrator. So another option for aggro Paladin is fine. But yeah, don't see this class coming up too often. Steward of Darkshire. Okay, I'm actually really excited about this card. It's a 3 mana 3/3 Hobgoblin, right? But whenever you summon a 1 health minion instead of attack, you give it Divine Shield. It's a 3 mana 3/3. It seems fine already. Because it's summon, so it's not like Hobgoblin where you have to play from your hand. It does actually turn your hero powers into Argent Squires, which is kind of cute. And if you play this card, well, yeah, you are gonna be playing aggro, I believe. I just don't see this as a mid range or a control deck archetype. You're gonna scroll through all your 1 health minions, so you're gonna play your Leper Gnomes, you're gonna play Abusive Sergeants. Are you gonna play your Magma Rages? I hope not, right? I hope you're not gonna play Magma Rages just because of this. Okay, don't be silly. But yeah, you're gonna scroll through all this and you go like, you're gonna be pretty happy with this. Even the Disciple of Cthulhu might be even played with this, right? Because if you play Disciple of Cthulhu with this, you get Divine Shield and deal 2 damage or something. That's pretty nice. But I guess it doesn't need to survive the board. It needs to survive turn. You need to play it late. There's still a lot of conditional things that this has to happen. So while I really like this card, I still think it's just gonna be a 3 stars. It's gonna be solid in aggro Paladin, but it's nowhere like insane levels of value, right? Rallying Blade, 3 mana 3/2 weapon. We know that Eaglehorn Bow and like Eaglehorn Bow is like insane, right? 3 mana 3/2 weapons are pretty awesome. So Paramace was played quite a bit when JVG came out. So 3 mana 2/2s are good. Battle Cry. Give +1/+1 to your minions with Divine Shield. So here, like, yeah, once again, Blizzard's kind of wanting to push like Divine Shield Paladin, where that's like it's a more aggro deck or more of a mid-range deck remains to be seen. I think it's more of an aggro deck, right? Divine Shield is really hard to remove, and yeah, with Silence being gone and like buff cards are just much better, right? So Divine Shield deck might be a thing. I think this is fine. Like a 3/2 weapon is good. Coghammer is gone now, so this is your new Coghammer. It's a little bit different. Sometimes you don't ever get value of this card ever, so you just play as a 3 mana 3/2 weapon, and that seems fine too. I don't know, like a 3 mana 3/2 weapon is relevant. I don't think it's bad, so I would give this a 3 stars. Like, it's okay, it's not bad. Forbidden Healing. 0 mana, spend all your mana, restore twice damage health. 10 mana, restore 20 is pretty damn juicy. And then of course you can play a little bit early on to restore some health to your minions and whatnot if they get hurt. It's an interesting card. In the fact that I think one of these in a control Paladin would be so nuts, right? If you look at Paladin, what are the worst matchups for Paladin? Like a control or mid-range Paladin. The worst matchup is Freeze Mage. And with one of these, you're actually pretty good. You're pretty fine against Freeze Mage, right? Like, I don't see how the 10 mana heal 20 clause is irrelevant. Like, it's actually pretty good. Outside of that, though, aggro Paladins are probably not going to play this. I just don't see this as a 2-of. Like, 2-of is pretty overwhelming, I guess. But a 1-of is actually quite good. Against aggro, suddenly you can win, right? So I would actually give this a 3 stars. It's actually pretty damn good. Like, people think this is actually a pretty good card. I think this is pretty good as a 1-of. Yeah, it's reasonable. It's really, really reasonable. So I like it. Yeah, I think this is a good card, really. Okay, next. Vilefin Inquisitor. 1 mana, 1/3. Battlecry. Your hero power becomes summon a 1/1 Murloc. So it's exactly the same thing, but it summons a Murloc instead. So would a Murloc deck be viable with this card, right? Because we know that Old Murkai is going to be gone from Standard, because it is a reward card, and yeah, it's just going to be gone. And the Anything Can Happen deck is kind of busted now, because Old Murkai is no longer there. It's significantly worse. So the Murloc deck for Paladin is going to be like board control. And that is just a weird one, right? That is just really weird. There is a cute thing you can do with this card, where you can hero power, play this, and then hero power again. But outside of that, the utility is not high with this card. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. I don't see this being good. Yeah, just yeah. But the card out here is amazing. Oh my god, don't you just want to hug it? Oh my god, Billy. Oh, you're adorable. And finally we have, oh my goodness, with Ragnaros Lightlord as the Paladin Legendary. All the cards just now were kind of like mediocre and whatnot, but oh my god, this card just trumps everything that was just revealed. Oh my god, look at him, he looks awesome. Look at his shoot, it's so big. Alright, 8 mana, 8/8. At the end of the turn, restore 8 health to a damage-friendly character. So, as an insect, you get to live. Live, insect. And this gets to attack as well, which is insane. There is a hidden thing that you can do with this card that not a lot of people seem to find out, is that you can attack this, and then it can heal itself. And then you can attack again, and it can heal itself. So, technically, it could get into infinite value, or infinite divine shields, as you may, because it just keeps on healing itself. And suddenly, once again, you get to win against matchups you're not supposed to win. As a Paladin, you're not supposed to win against the aggro matchup or the freeze mage. With this card, suddenly you are, right? Suddenly, you get to heal yourself, and wow, you won, right? Because I just don't see, if you get to live till turn 8 against like a face hunter, and you play this, the hunter's gonna go like, okay, what do I do now? Do I kill the Ragnaros, or do I keep on going face? And you're still gonna heal for 8 every. That's just, you just can't win anymore, right? What a great card, insane. 4 stars, very very good Paladin card. You are gonna play this in your control and even in your mid range maybe. So overall, Paladin cards are kind of weird. We're gonna see how the Divine Shield thing works and the Weenie deck works, but like Ragnaros is enough to make me excited about Paladin. Hooded Acolyte, yeah, is the first priest card. 4 mana 3/6, already very good stats. It's kind of like Warlock elemental status. Whenever a character is healed, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. So, well, it synergizes with your Circle of Healing and your Pyromancer and stuff like that, right? But, in my opinion, this text is actually not good. Like, this might as well has no text, right? It's because you don't want to play your heal sometimes when you're playing a Cthulhu deck. You just want to keep on playing creatures and whatnot, right? And the reward isn't immediate too. It's buffing something else that comes later on. You're just playing this as a 4 mana 3/6. And that's fine, right? 3/6s are good. Especially in Priest, when you have a big body and you can heal it back up. It's nice. It's just that the text doesn't do anything. I don't think this text is actually good. Meh. I give this like a 3 stars, just because of the stats. I don't think the text is relevant at all. Cartoon decks might not even play this. So yeah. Power Word Tentacles. Oh my god. She looks spooky as heck. 5 mana. Give a minion +2/+6. In other words, Valen's Chosen. Sorry, it was too good. Have this instead. Oh my god. Yeah, Power Word Tentacles doesn't seem like it's gonna be that good. Because, well, you didn't need to cast it on... It's a turn 5 play, which is a little awkward already. Because if you draw early game, it's gonna be stuck in your hand, kind of. You treat this as a 5 mana minion, you can't, because you do need a minion to cast this. So at the same time, this is like a little bit worse than a 5 mana minion. And aren't 5 mana minions already better than a 2/6 anyways? Like, why do you need to buff something up like that? The only way I can see this being good is in an Inner Fire Priest, right? You play Power Word Tentacles, Divine Spirit, Inner Fire, do some cheesy stuff. And that deck is just horrendous, right? That deck is just not good enough. This is a 1 star for me. I don't see this being played. If this is played, it's the Inner Fire Shenanigan deck. And then if you're playing against an Inner Fire Priest, enjoy your 3 stars. Let's move on with our life, right? Oh, baby. Darkshire Alchemist. Now this is exciting, yeah? 5 mana 4/5 Yeti. Battle Cry, restore 5 health. So basically, you cast a Flash Heal. Now, this is actually very, very exciting because as a 4 mana 4/5, it's fine, right? In Priest, you want to play 4 mana 4/5s. You pay 1 more mana and you get a free Flash Heal out of this? That's awesome. It makes your Alkanai on turn 4 much more dangerous, right? Because you always follow up with this guy. Light of the Naru is gone now, but this guy is now in. It's the new Light of the Naru, I guess-ish. Remember in Classic, we used to have like Alkanai Soul Priest, and then we have Farseer and then Hero Power, right? You Farseer Hero Power, deal 5 to something, and you're like, yeah, it was so good. Combo, right? why not do this instead and get a 4/5 body instead of a 3/3 body? Very, very good. Plus, this also gets to help you win against aggro matchups suddenly, right? Because 5 mana Restore 5 is a good card. Against aggro decks, you would play a 5 mana 5 Restore 5 in aggro matchups. So, good against aggro, good against control. Overall, very good card. 4 stars. Very, very nice. I like it. Shadow Word Horror. Oh, baby. Ugh, that's just a weird one. Destroy all minions with 2 or less attack, not 3. So it's not Mass Shadow or Pain. And once again, it does destroy your own minions as well. Such a weird card. Because aren't minions usually like not 2 or less attack? And if they are playing 2 or less attack minions, is the whole board gonna be 2 or less attack minions? I just don't see this being good. And with Shrinkmeister being rotated out, it seems like it's really hard to manipulate the attacks of minions. So no, I guess this is a 2 stars just because it might be good against Zoo, right? Might be, but no. Well, just pay 1 more mana and you get to play Holy Nova, right? No. Maybe a 1-off in Reno Priest or something like that. I'm not sure. Not good. Shifting Shade. 4 mana 4/3 Death Rattle. You cast half a Thought Steal by adding a card into your hand. This is interesting, right? When you compare it to Thought Steal, Control Priest loves Thought Steal because it's just so much value, right? It's very slow though, but you get to play the cards immediately. With Shifting Shade, you get a good body. You get a 4/3. So it's like casting Thought Steal and getting a 1 mana 4/3 and casting that immediately. However, you do not get the card immediately. And that is a very big drawback of this card, right? If you're on turn 10, you would prefer Thought Steal over Shifting Shade. Because if you play Shifting Shade, you don't get to spend the 6 mana on anything else. You just play Shifting Shade and you wait for it to die. That's a big drawback. However, on the flip side, casting Thought Steal on turn 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Casting Thought Steal on those turns feels so bad because you can't do anything else. And Hearthstone is, at the end of the day, a minion-centric game, right? It's a board control game. You do want things that keep on, pressure your opponent or trade with stuff. So Shifting Shade is better early game, up until turn 8, I guess 9 even. But at the super late game, Thought Steal is better. So this is not like insane in any sense. So I would give this a 3 stars. This having 3 health doesn't really help its argument either as being a 4-star card, right? 3/4 would have been much better, right? But with the 4/3, a little bit more awkward. Does kill your 5/4s, but that does die to your 3/5s, which is very noticeable drawback. Twilight Darkmender, man, this card actually feels like came out of like a Star Wars poster or something, right? Like the art style of this card is actually really significantly different than most Hearthstone cards. But yeah, 5 mana 6/5, very very good already, right? Battlecry. If your Cthulhu is 10 stats, restore 10 health to your hero. WoW is the new mini bot. Have a new facelift. This is like the new mini bot, right? Restore 10 health to your hero is pretty nuts. So and playing a 5 mana 6/5. Sign me up, 5 mana 6/5, that's good. You are going to play this in your Cthulhu Priest. However, the Cthulhu Priest, it's going to be a little bit hard to pull off because the reward or the payoff mechanics are heal yourself, right? It's a little bit weirder than normal. Like Cthulhu Priest, I think, is maybe like 3rd best Cthulhu or 4th best Cthulhu. It's definitely not like a tier 1 Cthulhu deck because it's not proactive, right? Proactive Cthulhu cards would be like the Druid one. Put a 4/10 on the board, right? This is not a proactive card. It's still really, really good, don't get me wrong. But as a Cthulhu deck, it might not be good. Anyways, you're going to play this in your Cthulhu deck. It's a good card. 3 stars. It's nice, alright? You're going to play this. Forbidden Shaping. Now, this is actually the card I am most excited about. Very, very exciting. 0 mana. Spend all your mana, summon a random minion that costs that much. So, in a sense, you're always going to guarantee to curve out. The running joke where Priest never gets a good 2-drop, right? Well, my argument is that this is your 2-drop. This is the Priest 2-drop, right? If you miss a 2-drop, you play this, it's fine. If you don't miss a 2-drop, you play this at turn 6, 7, or 8. Oh my God, you're super happy, right? With the new set, there were so many minions with high stat values that like a random minion is actually fine. I'm actually super excited about this card, and I think this is gonna be like so good in Priest, so good. The times where you miss a drop in Priest is just too much, like way too much, and sometimes well, like people argue about this as like, oh, maybe you get like a bad minion, right? Like something that is just not good value, like Magma Rager or something, something just bad, right? Or even like or even, what's another good example of a back, like Gurubashi Berserker or something like that. I don't know, Gurubashi Berserker, you're not even sad about that. Like Booty Bay Bodyguard maybe, right? But my argument is that sometimes you just run away with the game. Like there are 5 mana Earth Elementals, and there's like the new 4 mana 7/7 Shaman card, right? There's just a lot of cards which have a lot of value. That this card is just nutsos to me. I just don't see how this is not good. It's insane. I give this a 4 stars. I love this card. If there's one thing I want to make me want to play Priest in the new expansion, is definitely this card. Very good. Embrace the Shadow. It's Akane Soul Priest on the other side. Yeah, it's on the other side. 2 mana, you get the Akane Soul Priest for this turn. It's cool in the fact that it makes your restore health cards a little bit more consistent, right? So like Circle of Healing becomes a little bit more consistent. What else? Flash Heal as an aggro card, like as a burst card maybe, not aggro, burst. As a burst card is a little bit more consistent, something like that. But this like if you compare this to Akane Soul Priest, this is horrendous, right? 4 mana 3/5, and you get this effect forever versus 2 mana, you do nothing, don't put a card, and you get the effect for that one turn. Like, if you compare it to Akane, this card is just trash. However, there is one deck that this card might be seen play in, and that's the Freeze Priest deck, right? Where, you know, you might want to play this, Flash Heal, maybe use the Darkshire Alchemist attack, and that's a lot of burst. And when your deck revolves around that one combo, and you can only play 2 Akanais, you're a little bit sad, right? So this is kind of your third Akanai. I just don't see it this as a 4th one, I guess. Freeze Priest wouldn't even run the second copy of this. But the first copy of this is actually pretty nice again in Freeze Priest, I think. With your Acolyte Pain's run cards, even with your Emperor, right? If you play Emperor and reduce everything, you can actually do some crazy burst potential with this card. So just because of that deck, I'm going to give this a 2 stars. Right? It becomes a fringe playable in an archetype that's not tier 1. So it's 2 stars. That is actually the saving grace from 1 star. When I first looked at this, I was like, oh my god, that's just like a waste of an epic slot. But maybe Freeze Priest is going to be a thing. And finally, we have the Priest Legendary Herald Volazje. 6 mana 5/5. Summon a 1/1 copy of each of your other minions. So the 1/1 minions do have like your Death Rattle minion, Death Rattle effects, or your proc effects like Emperor, right? Like your Sylvanas works, Ragnaros works, but this card is just not that good, I think. You have to have a board, and like the reward for copying a minion is getting this as a 5/5 body. The copy isn't even copied, right? I mean, if you play Faceless Manipulator, at least the copy retains its stats, right? This copy does not retain its stats. And so you go like, wow. The only way I can get value out of this card is that it affects 2 or more minions, right? And it cannot even affect 4 minions because you don't have enough board space, right? The maximum effects it can do is 3. So 2 or 3 minions. 3 minions is obviously Craigasm. But once again, these are just 1/1 minions, right? Yeah, I just don't see this as being too good. I'm gonna give this 2 stars. A very weird deck might play this with Emperor and like Ragnaros and whatnot, but generally speaking, in Hearthstone, you don't technically have a board most of the time, and getting a 1/1 copy of a card, like the reward is not that high enough, I think, for this card to be good. So yeah, Priest cards are good, I guess, overall. Cthulhu Priest is definitely a thing. I do like the Forbidden Shaping the most. Forbidden Shaping is insane. Alright, onwards to Rogue. What is going to happen to Rogue now that Blade Flurry is nerfed? Well, let's start with the Blade Cultist. It's a 1 mana 1/2 combo game +1/+1. And oh god, this is bad. It's a zombie chow that 50% of the time doesn't really work, right? Like, imagine if you don't stop the coin with this card. Wow, this is bad. It's a 2/3 that you don't play on turn 1. And once again, we cannot stress enough that Zombie Chow shines so much when you play on turn 1. When you play on turn 3, it's not that good. It's just like, whatever, who cares, right? And because of that, this is not good. Blade Cultist gets a 2 stars. Might be found in hyper-aggressive decks, but, right? Hyper-aggressive decks might play this as a 2/3, right? You play a lot of 1-drops anyways, but, yeah, not excited about this card at all. Shadow Strike. 3 mana, deal 5 damage to undamaged character. So you can actually chop the face. This is actually not bad. 3 mana, deal 5 damage is, you know, above the curve. Usually you expect 3 mana spells to deal 4 damage, like Shadow Bolt. The undamaged clause doesn't come up to, isn't really much of a condition, because most, you know, 5 health minions are full health. So it's a 3 mana remove something. It's pretty good. And just, yeah, preparationing a Shadow Strike and playing an Edwin on turn 3 is pretty nuts, right? You just kill something, play a 6/6 on the board, say go. That's nice. That's great. Temple Rogue is going to want to use this, right? So, good card. I would give this a 4 stars. I don't see this being a bad card at all. And, yeah, play Rogue. You definitely want to consider this. South Sea Squid Face. 4 mana, 4/4 Pirate. Pirate synergy might be a thing, but I don't know. Ship's Cannon is kind of rotating out, so Pirates can kind of like, eh. But the Death Rattle is actually pretty good. Death Rattle, you cast Deadly Poison on your weapon. So sure, the one of the main problems of this card is that you do need a weapon for this to be good, right? But then Art Rogue's Hero Power at turn 2 anyways, so you're always gonna get a weapon, and the Death Rattle effect is so strong, right? It's a 5 mana. It's a 5 mana card worth of stats. Plus, it actually draws you a Deadly Poison and casts it for you. So the only last condition that we need to see if this card is good or not is if the 4/4 body is good, because there aren't a lot of 4/4 minions that are playable right now, I guess. And this is your 4/4, so it competes with the 5/4s, which is a good trade. And it does compare to 3/5s, which is also a fine trade, right? You have the hero power, you know, you can do something cool with that. I will give this a 4 stars. I like this card. This card is actually going to make Rogue a little bit better. Obviously, Blade Flurry is gone, so it's a little bit awkward. You might still play Blade Flurry for like a Flame Strike-esque kind of card. But man, this is just a lot of value in one card. I like it. So yeah, 4-star rating. Pretty optimistic about this card. Journey Below. Discover a Death Rattle card for 1 mana. At first I looked at this and go like, why would Rogues want this, right? I mean, sure, you can get your new Huckster, you can get your new Barak, and you can get all the new Death Rattle cards and whatnot. And then you look at this card more and go like, wow, maybe you can actually make a N'Zoth deck with this, right? A N'Zoth deck with a Death Rattles that summons everything back might be pretty cool. If you play this with your Unearthed Raptor, then the Death Rattle synergy is a little bit more consistent. And finally, this is actually the last point is actually what made me like this card. It's a 1 mana draw a card, right? When is Hearthstone ever, like, when in the history of Hearthstone is a 1 mana draw a card ever not played? Let's expand it a little bit more. When is a draw a card ever not played? Like, every time a card says draw a card, it's always going to be played, right? So, I don't know. I feel like this is pretty good. I would give this a... Actually, what did I give this? Journey Below is a 3 stars. Yeah. It's actually pretty playable. I actually like it. So, yeah. Good card. Alright. Next up, we have Undercity Huckster. 2 mana, 2/2 Death Rattle. Add a random class card to your hand. Pretty much a half burgle. Kind of like your Shifting Shade. And it's a 2 mana, 2/2. Holy Jesus. It's like Dark Peddler met a new friend, or Dark Peddler's cousin, right? This is basically Dark Peddler's cousin. You draw a card. I would say this is a pretty damn good card. Why is that? Because, well, it's a 2/2 that draws a card, and the card is a class card. So on average, it's going to be much better. So I like it. I really, really like it. And what? Rogues are losing a lot of 2-drops, right? I mean, losing a lot of 2-drops, but Rogues don't play 2-drops anyways. I think the The main strategy for Rogue right now is to actually just do Tempo Death Rattle, and this is a great 2-drop. This is insane. You unearthed Raptor on this, and oh my god, you just casted a Burgle for free, and you're playing a 2/2 and a 3/4. Like, these minions are actually good. So I will give this a 4 stars. Very exciting. Sometimes it might miss, obviously. Sometimes you might get something bad like Healing Touch, or like Mind Vision, or like Shield Slam or something. But the chances you get a good card is actually overwhelmingly good. So yeah, I like it. Thistle Tea. Oh, TT. Oh no. 6 mana, draw a card, and add 2 extra copies onto your hand. Oh no, why is this a card? This is actually really bad. And I'm going to explain why this is bad. First of all, 6 mana, draw 3 is not what you want. Secondly, when you draw a lot of cards, you want options, okay? Like when you sprint, you want to see preparation and your backstabs and your eviscerates and whatnot. When you play this, you're gonna see 3 of the same thing, okay? You don't have options. You get 3 Agile Drakes. Which one do you want to play? You get 3 backstabs. You're gonna what? Like, just no. It doesn't even thin your deck. Like, a good part of sprint is that it thins your deck so that you know what you're gonna draw later, and the value is gonna come later on. Like, this does not help you do that. Oh my god, this is just so bad. The only thing I can see this in is like a Fatigue Rogue, maybe, where you draw a card and you get to draw 3 Cold Ice, maybe, or like 3 Gang Ups, maybe. But you're drawing a card as Fatigue Rogue, you're doing something wrong. 1 star, not good. This chat is for your dust. Oh my gosh. Shadowcaster. Oh my god, it's Valera, but in minion form. 5 mana, 4/4 Battlecry. Choose a friendly minion and add a 1/1 copy to your hand that costs 1. So it's kind of like Agile Drake in the fact that it's a 5 mana 4/4 that draws a card. It does have a conditional though. It does require you to have a minion on your board. But like some crazy stuff might happen, right? 1 mana 1/1 SI7 is fine. 1 mana 1/1 Agile Drake is fine. 1 mana 1/1 Emperor is pretty damn good. 1 mana 1/1 Edwin. Oh my, okay, so you get what I mean, right? Auctioneer as a 1 mana 1/1, that's pretty good. So like the potential for this card to be busted is there, right? This card could like be crazy. However, as a rogue, how often are you keeping your board control? Like, you're not keeping board control at all, right? And while the 1 mana 1/1 is like very enticing, you're still just kind of like duplicating in the fact that it's already happening, right? If it already happens, it happens. In the sense that if your Emperor is on the board and it lives, it's gonna live again. You don't need to copy your Emperor again to get value out of it. You get what I mean, right? So if the Emperor dies, it's fine. If the Emperor lives, it's fine. You don't need a card that specifically says exploit your Emperor even more. So with that, I don't think it's gonna be too insane. I'm gonna give this a 2 stars. It does look really good on paper though. And it does really good look good on, like, you know, matches that go so it is swing the game so much, right? But no, I'm not playing a card that is a conditional draw card. That's a 5 mana 4/4. Ekop. 9 mana. Ekop is a 9 mana card. It's a 4/4. And Battlecry assassinates something and then adds its attack health to Cthulhu. That's cool. That's cool. Ekop is kind of scary. He does like to kill something. As a 9 mana card though, definitely a little awkward. It is pretty good in the sense that if you combine Assassinate, right, a 5 mana card, and a 4 mana 4/4, and combine it into one card, you're actually like gaining a card. So that's pretty good. But 9 mana is so hard. It's just like, when you want to kill minion, you want to kill minion, and you don't want to wait till turn 9 to do it. You get what I mean? So I'm not gonna rate this too high. But the fact that it is 2 cards combined into 1, at least give it a 2 stars, right? Just, yeah, it's just really awkward. It does definitely make the cards that give you random die drops a little bit worse, because now there's a 4/4. But yeah, I just like, yeah, it's not that good. Finally, we got Zaril, Poison Mind. 4 mana 3/2, Battlecry and Death Rattle. Add a random toxin card to your hand. So it's basically a 4 mana Toshli for rogues only. And the toxins are actually pretty good. You got the deal 2 damage, draw a card, stealth a creature, give a minion +3 attack, And the final one is Shadow Step, right? For 1 mana. These are all pretty relevant. And when you combine it with like Edwin or Auctioneer and stuff like that, it becomes pretty good. Because the rogue class is going to have a lot of cantrips, right? Like Tomb Pillager with the Auctioneer is a cantrip. With Edwin, it actually becomes insane. So I think this is fine. 4 mana 3/2 though, you are paying a lot of stats for this body. It just dies to like a random backstab and whatnot. So you do need to abuse the effect of this quite a bit for it to be powerful. Definitely really good against more mid-range and control matchups. Against aggro, you're gonna wish this was a Senjin Shieldmaster instead, right? But the potential for this card is high enough that we're gonna give this a 4 stars. Yeah, it's good enough. Onwards to Shaman. Yeah, Shaman has received a lot of love. A lot of love. So much love. But no Cthulhu cards. So let's start with Primal Fusion, yeah? 1 mana. Give a minion +1/+1 for each of your totems. So how does this need to be good? Well, this needs to be good if it's 2 totems. Because 1 mana +2/+2, it's a better Mark of the Wild. Right? So if you have at least 2 totems, it's worth it. However, the problem is that you do need totems. And when you play totems... I'm saying totems a lot. But when you play totems, you're kind of not curving out. And that's not what Shaman wants to do, right? Shaman is kind of like the new mid-range class now that you want to keep on playing cards and whatnot. You don't really want to buff your minions in the sense. So I would give this like... what did I give this for Primal Fusion? It's a 2 stars, exactly. Kind of good as a one-off, maybe. Just 2-offs is going to be so clunky. If you only have 1 totem, and you totem hero power and then cast this and turn 3, it's just not that good, right? And buffing your own minions sometimes is not that good because you're putting too many eggs in one basket, right? And if they just remove it or something, like a rogue snaps it or something, it's gonna be really sad. You don't need to play with this card to be good, so yeah. Stormcrack, 2 mana, your new Crackle, but it deals damage only to a minion. Ooh, wow, Cackle Face. Much noticeably worse than Crackle. Definitely. But Crackle is going to be rotating out, right? 2 mana deal 4 to something is fine. It's like an Eviscerate. The Overload 1 clause does come out a little often when that it does screw up your plays a little bit. You play this on turn 2, you can't Feral Spirits, you can't Tuskar Totemic. The drawback is definitely there. And because it can't go face, it's not good enough. 2 stars, right? No. Wow, a 4 mana 7/7, you say? Wow, when you see a 4 mana 7/7, you go like, this has to have the worst effect text ever, right? It might have some effect text like can only attack if it's the only minion on the field, something as bad as that, right? But this text is only Overload 2. Wow, are you kidding me? Like, are you actually kidding me right now? It's like innovating out a 7/7. This is what it is, right? With BGH being a 5 mana now, this 7/7 is going to smash faces. Oh my god, this is just so insane. It's like a super Totem Golem. And Totem Golem is played. Totem Golem is good. This is even better. Holy Jesus. This is insane. 4 stars. 4 stars. Like, this is actually nuts. With the new minion that also unlocks Overload Crystals, like, the Overload 2 might not even be a thing, you get what I mean? Like, 4 mana 7/7 is just so nuts. Oh my god. Yeah, this is insane. We're happy about this. This is probably my favorite card of the set, Evolve. Transform your minions into random minions that cost 1 more, and it costs 1 mana. This is insane. I think this is, like, actually insane. So the dream situation is when you have, like, a lot of minions, and your opponent also has a lot of minions, and they do a lot of value trades, and then you cast this to make your 4/1s, your 4/2s, your 3/2s, and whatnot 1 mana higher. It's not so. It's just so good. I don't care about the random effect. You're getting value out of this card so much, and yeah, it's just like Circle of Healing in a sense, right? But you actually bump your minions a 1 cost more. That's just even a better Circle of Healing, right? Another way to look at this is like you can actually play a lot of minions to summon another minion. So like Tuskar Totemic is a 3-drop and then if it summons Flame Tongue as a 2-drop, and then after and then your next turn you get to go face, and you get a 4-drop and a 3-drop for one. That's just insane. You get to also press your hero part and then get another 2. Like, this is insane. Like, it's so fun, so cool. Although I might be like really happy about this, I'm still gonna be a little bit more realistic and say like this is a 3 stars. Like, as good as this is, I don't think this is gonna break the game or anything. And I don't think having 2 evolves in the deck is too good. But like, it can be abused so hard, right? If you have minions to summon other minions. Like, imagine you play this with Onyxia. You get a 10-drop and then you get a million 2-drops, right? I don't think that clause comes out too often, but the clause that you trade with something and then you evolve it makes so much sense. So, really good. 3 stars. Why play an evolve that sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not that good, when you can just play a Yeti that evolves? Oh my god. This card is insane as well. 4 mana, 4/5 Yeti. Battlecry. Cast evolve on 1 creature. Now, we already said that you can trade stuff and evolve it, right? Like a 3/4. You kill a 3/2, evolve it, and you get a 4-drop. You're getting a 4/5 as well out of the deal? Oh my god. Like, this card is insane as well. I'm so happy about this card. And once again, you're not unhappy playing a 4/5. You just that's just the thing, okay? So I love this card. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. Very, very good. You're playing mid-range Shaman, you're pretty much gonna consider this card. Nice one, nice one. Oh my god, it just keeps on coming. Okay. So many things are good with this card. 6 mana, 5/5 taunt. Cost 1 less for each totem you summon this game. Okay, you summon. So it works on your hero powers, it works on your Tuskar Totemics, and obviously it works on your Totem Golems, Mana Tides, and whatnot, okay? As a 6 mana 5/5 taunt, it's already fine. Like, people don't think a 6 mana 5/5 taunt is good. 6 mana 5/5 taunt is good, okay? Obviously, you're not going to put it in your deck. Obviously, it needs to have an extra upside, right? And the extra upside is definitely an upside. You play a 5 mana 5/5, wow. You play a 4 mana 5/5, now it starts to get insane, right? And if you have 2 of these, somehow you can get like 2 of these could be like 2 mana. 5 mana 5/5, 5 mana 5/5. And then you still have mana to do everything else. Right? Oh my god, it has taunt. It has taunt for some reason. Why does it need taunt? Now the cherry on the top though, the cherry on the top, is that it's a 6 mana card. So when you trade this with a 4/5, and you evolve it into a 7-drop, yeah. Shaman is receiving so much love. Holy Jesus. 4 stars. So good. Eternal Sentinel. Also a really good card. Oh my god. Battlecry, unlock your overloaded mana crystal as a 2 mana 3/2. Like, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Why is this better than Lava Shock? It's because you can play this anytime you want, and a 3/2 is better than deal 2 damage, right? 3/2 minion is 2 mana, and deal 2 damage is 1 mana because it's Holy Smite. So this is much better than Lava Shock. And this is always going to be relevant because you have the 4 mana drop that overloads now. Mid-range Shaman might actually play Elemental Destruction in their main deck. And this unlocks your mana crystals, right? Very good card. Very nice. I love it. I rated 3 stars. It's a definitely a card that you will consider playing in your Shaman deck. Hammer of Twilight. 5 mana 4/2 weapon. Death Rattle, summon a 4/2 elemental. Holy Jesus, there's a lot of 4/2s in this in this card, right? So it's kind of like your new Despite-ish, where you get to deal 4 damage to one thing and then 4 damage to another, and then you get a 4/2. So you get 3 4 damage stuff out of one card. That's a lot of value. Alright? Now, if you compare this to Doomhammer, then obviously Doomhammer is just miles ahead. But this card, if Doomhammer is not in the game, this card is actually super exciting for me, right? I actually like this card even if Doomhammer is there, because like the 4/2 is actually quite relevant. You're spawning this as an effect of a card that you're already getting value out of. Makes this a nice card. I'm gonna give this a 4 stars. The problem with this card is that Doomhammer does exist. So if this card does not see play, it's because of Doomhammer, right? That's the problem. But this card is really good. I like it. And how you can curve this into Fire Elemental is definitely a big plus side. You cannot curve Doomhammer into Fire Elemental. That's why Doomhammer is more of an aggressive card. Yeah. But card's good. Wow, look at the he looks awesome. He looks cool. Love him. And finally, we got Halazil. Oh my god. He looks scary. It reminds me of the Elemental Monstrosity fight in the like the council fight in WoW. 5 mana 4/6, so already pretty good stats. As a good text, whenever your spells deal damage, restore that much health to your hero. So your spells gain lifelink, right? Very nice card, very good in the fact that you could win matchups that you're not supposed to anymore. Once again, that's always a very important argument when you evaluate new cards, right? So against like against your aggro decks and against your freeze mage, suddenly you get to win games. Although against freeze mage, they don't really have a lot of minions, so you do either need to attack the face with your spells, or you need to kind of elemental destruction your own board, right? Lightning storm is not really gonna work. But if you lightning storm with this card against aggro, oh my god, like that's pretty happy times. Against mid-range decks though, this doesn't really do too much, I guess. Like health is not too relevant in mid-range matchups, and but then the 5 mana 4/6 does make up for it, right? Like this is good. So I'm gonna give this a 3 stars. It's a good enough card that you're gonna consider putting your deck in most of the time. And in the cases of like a lot of aggressive decks or like freeze mage becomes popular, whatnot, you're gonna consider this even more. So it's a good card. I like it. Onwards to the Warlock cards. Oh, we're nearly there. Warlocks. We got Doug. Yeah, this guy's name is Doug because you could imagine him saying Doug. 1 mana 1/1 Death Rattle summon a 1/1 Shadow Beast. So it's pretty much a strictly better version of Argent Squire in the fact that if you cast Overwhelming on this, you know, the second part doesn't die off. Argent Squire, the second part does die off, right? This is also kind of relevant because Dark Peddler can actually find this now. It's another 1-drop for Warlock, and it's a class card, so it does come up pretty often. It's nice. I mean, if you're gonna run a zoo list that needs Argent Squire, then you're not gonna run Argent Squire, and you're gonna run Doug instead. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. I'm gonna give this a 3 stars. 1 mana 1/1 that Death Stars in 1/1 is relevant. I mean, I don't see how this is irrelevant. So yeah, not bad. Shadow Beast looks pretty cute as well. Darkshire Councilman! Darkshire Councilman has big... He's lifting up a big finger. 3 mana 1/5. Oh god, that's bad. But it does have... After you summon a minion, gain +1 attack. So, if you leave this on the board, it gets pretty buff. But the first body, like the first iteration of this body, is pretty bad, right? Like a 1/5 is definitely going to get abused pretty much. Your opponent's 3/4 is going to hit this for sure. And then you get left with the 1/2. Hopefully it gets a little bit of a buzz, at least trades upwards. The optimal situation is obviously you play this on empty board, your opponent plays something, and then you play, I don't know, summon the tentacles or something, right? And then it gets a lot of attack and be very happy. But 3 mana 1/5 is not what we're really looking for in terms of creatures. In-game boss is just so much better, right? I don't want a conditional... thing that gets better, and if I don't meet the requirements, it doesn't. So we're gonna give Darkshire Councilman a 2. Maybe in Swarm decks it's gonna be played, but yeah, not too exciting actually. Usher of Souls. Usher of Souls is a 5 mana 5/6. Whenever a friendly minion dies, give your Cthulhu +1/+1. The text is actually not relevant at all, in my opinion, because friendly minions dying is not how you want to proc this. It doesn't give you card advantage like Cult Master does. And you don't want to purposely trade just to get your Cthulhu +1/+. It just says you just want to play Cthulhu cards instead, right? So you're really gonna play this as a 5 mana 5/6, and a 5 mana 5/6 is fine. Like okay, fine. You're not like super terribly excited about this. So 2 stars for this. If you're playing a Cthulhu deck, you might even cut this. So that's why this is 2 stars. Darkshire Librarian. Oh god, she looks pretty cool actually. 2 mana 3/2. We battle card, discard a random card, and then Death Rattle, draw a card back. So what? The most optimal situation is that you play this with no cards in your hand, and then when you Death Rattle, you get to draw a card. So it's a 2 mana 3/2 Loot Hoarder. The payoff is not that big, right? I mean, you do need to play this with no cards in your hand, and then you get to draw a card. So then you play a 2 mana 3/2 Loot Hoarder is a little bit better. Sometimes discarding a random card is fine, right? It's okay, you're drawing a card anyways. So you're just playing a 2 mana 3/2. I wonder if this will actually make this card mechanics like Fist of Jaraxxus and Tiny Knight of Evil playable. Don't see this happening too much, I think, because Fist of Jaraxxus is a bad card, right? It can sometimes you fist the face, and sometimes you fist minions, and that's not good, right? You want consistency, and if you fist the wrong target, you kind of wasted it. Like, you wasted a card slot. So I'm not really too excited about that combo, but as a 2-mana 3/2 that draws a card, it's actually not bad. I mean, I would give this a 2 stars. It's not unplayable. I mean, there might be a deck that actually makes this work out. But I think the most optimal situation is you play Zoo, you play this as your final card, and then you draw a card. Spreading Madness. Oh, 3 mana, deal 9 Okay. 3 mana, deal 9 damage to your opponent's face if you're Amaz. This is pretty good value, right? No, I'm just joking. Okay, you would never want to play this because it's not a minion, right? It's just not good. It's like, why would you play Demon Wrath instead for AoE? And why won't you play Hellfire instead for AoE, right? You can do some cutesy stuff like reduce your own health for Molten Giants, but now that Molten Giants cost 25, it's not even an argument. It's not even remotely close. Like, it's just, what is happening? Like, this is just not good. I don't like it. People are saying like Grim Patron might be good, but this is like 8 mana Grim Patron. This is so slow. I don't like it. 1 star. Don't play this. No. No. Forbidden Ritual! Oh my god. This reminds me of food. It's actually like squid, right? 0 mana Forbidden Ritual. Spend all your mana, summon that many 1/1s. Obviously combos really well with things that summon creatures, like Darkshire Councilman we just saw. Knife Juggler is a good example of a card that synergizes with this. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Definitely worse than Implosion for sure, but you know, it does come out pretty often where you sometimes want to just have a flexible card to spend all your mana and curve out and play a lot of 1/1s. Even if this gets AoE down, it's actually fine, because if you actually play this and your opponent AoEs it down, you're trading this card for AoE card, which is exactly fine. Also pretty good against aggro matchups where 1/1s actually help a lot. It's like Muster for Battle, where you do want the 1/1s to trade for each of the creatures. So yeah, I think this is fine. Give this a 3 stars, I believe. You might want to see this as like a summon stuff. How it works with Knife Juggler is definitely very relevant. And it's the Icky Tentacle. It is an Icky Tentacle. Alright, onwards. We have Forcing Gotchigasm. For 2 mana, you don't become a Warlock anymore. You place your Hero Power and Warlock cards with another classes, and they also cost 1 less. Okay, well, first of all, if you play this card, why did you select Warlock in your deck building selection screen anyways? Like, why did you select it? You get what I mean? Why didn't you pick Priest or Paladin or Druid instead? Oh my god, this is such a troll card. I mean, I'm pretty sure this card is gonna be made with a lot of like funny videos and whatnot, but the fact that you are getting random class cards means that your game plan has to be tempo. You can't be like, oh, I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play Freeze Mage. Like, that's not gonna happen, right? So this is a 1 star. You're not gonna be seeing this in standard play outside of like people trying to be cutesy and playing like trying to make funny videos and whatnot. Like, no, this is like a cutesy card. And finally, we got Doom! 10 mana, destroy all minions, so you got Twisting Nether, and then you draw a card for each. Now, this is actually quite interesting in the fact that, what's it called? It's like a, how do I say it? It's like your second Twisting Nether in Reno Lock, right? I don't see this being a main deck because you already have Life Tap. Like, why do you need to draw more cards? You're gonna play Fatigue Warlock and the plans to fatigue yourself. That's not really that good, right? And Doom sometimes draws a lot of cards. When you need to Doom a board of 6 creatures, you draw 6 cards. Sometimes that is actually a setback. So I only see this as like a second Reno, like a second Twisting Nether for Reno. But you already have things like Shadow Flame and you have Hellfire. Like, those are already very, very efficient. You don't need to have like 10 mana card. 10 mana cards are very hard to use correctly as well. So I'm gonna give this a 2, 2 stars as in. Very, very fringy. I don't see this being a Warlock card outside of Reno. And finally, Cho'Gall. Oh, baby, Cho'Gall is a little bit exciting. 7 mana, 7/7. That's already really good, right? Doesn't, like, with the BGH nerf and all. The battle cry is insane, though. The next spell you cast this turn costs health instead of mana. That is nuts, right? You're playing a 7/7 that casts Siphon Soul for free, right? Wow, that is exciting. You can also do like Shadow Flame. I think Shadow Flame and Siphon Soul are your two main targets for this one. I mean, sure, you can use it on your Hellfire or your Demon Wrath. You know, those are fine. Maybe even Bane of Doom is okay, but you do 5 damage to yourself. But outside of that, I don't really see it. If you choke out Doom, you are dealing 10 damage to yourself, and you're not even playing anything, right? So I don't want to choke on Doom. That's terrible. Another good effect that this comes out with is that you actually get to modify your health for Molten Giants, right? Even Molten Giants at 25 mana might be playable. So if you can actually, you know, make a turn with Cho'Gall, play a spell, and then do Molten Sunfury or something like that, that could be pretty insane. Definitely harder to pull off right now, but that is definitely something that comes up. I love this card. The Tempo Swing is going to be insane when you face against Cho'Gall. I'm going to give this a 4 stars. Very, very powerful card. Alright, and the final class, we have the the Warriors. Alright, shall we go face or shall we go more control? Let's start with Nizov's first mate. 1 mana 1/1, equip a 1/3 Rusty Hook. So this is just a strictly better Life's Justice, right? Because you get one of the durability becomes a 1/1. So that's pretty good. And I believe that the rider is actually a Torn, so that gets extra points. Once again, Pirate Synergy is it's a little bit weird right now since Ship's Cannon is gone. But we are going to see another Pirate card that's in the Warrior class that's going to help a little bit. But if we're just going to evaluate this card without the Pirate text, it's just a 1 mana 1 with a 1/3. It's actually not bad, right? In most matchups, like aggro matchups, you do want to kill your opponent's 2/1s very, very quickly. And this card does help you do that. Yeah. If you want to be aggro, this card might not be too insane because it's not a 2/1, but it does give you a weapon, and you could upgrade the weapon in different means that we are going to see later. So, you know, it's not bad. It's 3 stars. I believe that this has enough utility to be played in some archetypes. There's your Rusty Hook. Ravaging Ghoul. Oh, God. When I first looked at Ravaging Ghoul, I was like, why would I want to play this? Right? And then since all the new cards are out, I was looking at all the cards at each mana. There's actually not too much 3 mana neutral cards that are good, right? BJ's is gone, you got MC Tech, and you got Twins and stuff like that. This card is amazing. Wow, have I underestimated this card in my first rendition? Battle cry, you get a free Whirlwind, right? Holy Jesus, is good. I love this card. It trades upwards in the fact that, like, if opponent plays a 3/4, you play this as a 3/3, it's fine, completely fine. Sometimes it just, you know, pings off a 1/1 or something like that, because, like, you have a War Axe, they play a 3/4, you attack it, and you play this, deal 1 damage. Like, it's like a Taskmaster. If you think of this as like a Taskmaster, it's much better. And it gives you extra synergy with your Acolyte Pains, with your Frauding Berserkers, even with your Patrons, maybe. Like, there's just upside to this card. 4 stars for me. I'm actually very excited about this card. Not really excited about the first run, but there are no good 3-drops, and this is a good 3-drop. Bloodhoof Brave, 4 mana 2/6 taunt, enrage plus 3 attack. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, 4 mana 2/6 taunt is already really good, right? I mean, the Arcane Nullifier 2/5 taunt was not seen play. A 2/6 taunt might not even seen play, but this having an enrage plus 3 attack makes this nuts, right? You can kind of see it's like a 5/6 kind of with taunt, but it does you need to activate it. But like a 6 health taunt is nice. It's very, very decent. And with Shredder rotating out, this is a very nice 4-drop. I love this card, right? This is nice. The enrage effect does happen. Does occur quite often, right? If you deal 1 damage to this guy, it becomes a 5/5, and a 4 mana 5/5 is sweet, right? Do it with Ravaging Ghoul or something like that. Love the card. 4 stars. I like it. Blood to Ichor, 1 mana. Deal 1 damage to the minion, and if it survives, you summon a 2/2 slime. So it's kind of like a 2/2 Elven Archer. But the condition is that it does need to live. So what's the best time to play this? Well, you play this on a hopefully non-1 health minion, and then you get to axe it later. You get to execute it later, for example. Something like that. Yeah, might be good. Might be good. It is a little noticeably worse against aggro, I guess. I mean, deal 1 mana, deal 1 damage is still fine. Against the control, might be bad as well. Like a 1 mana 2/2 is not really what you're looking for. You still want to look at your, big cards and whatnot. So this does need to combo something to make it good, I believe. So we're gonna make this 3 stars. Like the stats in this is actually good enough that might see play. Alright, speaking of pirate cards, Bloodseal Cultist is exactly why you want pirates, right? 3 mana, 3/4. If you control a pirate, you cast a free upgrade. And that is pretty good, right? I mean, imagine if you are playing the 1 mana 1/1 pirate that gives you a 1/3, and then you play this to follow up and you get a 2/4 weapon now. That is actually pretty good. And you're not even paying a lot of stats for that. It's a 3 mana 3/4, right? You're actually paying 0 stats for this effect. So it's good. I like it. Free upgrade, sign me up. Turn your War Axis into 4/3s. That is pretty sweet. So this is a good card. I will give this 3 stars. Ancient Shield Bearer, 7 mana 6/6. Another card that rewards you for buffing your Cthulhu. It's a 7 mana 6/6 Super Shield Maiden that gives you 10 armor Resident Sleeper. Oh my goodness. This is a good card because when you play Cthulhu, obviously you want to live until your Cthulhu turn. You're buffing your Cthulhu in the early turns anyways. So this is pretty much playable at turn 7, right? At turn 7, your Cthulhu is probably going to be at least 10 attack. So yeah, overall very, very strong card. You're going to play this in your Cthulhu deck. There's no question. It's 4 stars. There's just no way you're not playing this in Cthulhu. Warrior. Much better than the Priest one though because it's 10 armor. Blood Warriors, 3 mana, add a copy of each damage friendly minion to your hand. It's kind of like Echo of Garrosh. This card is weird in the sense that it's an Arcane Intellect, but it is a conditional, and it doesn't draw from your deck, right? So why would you not want to draw from your deck? Well, against like control matchups like Priest, like your other control warrior matchup, you don't want to fatigue yourself fast, and you want constant threats, right? So you kind of want this. However, in those matchups, aren't the minions just dead anyways? Like, I don't feel like you have an option to play this. And, yeah, it's just not going to work out too much. So, if you copy 2 minions with this card, then it gets its value back because it's like an Arcane Intellect. If you don't, it's kind of bad. If you copy more, it's a little bit better. But, isn't Battle Rage just better? Right? You don't need extra copies of minions that you already play. And you do want to fish out your decks, your cards from your own deck instead. So I would give Blood Warriors a 2 stars because it is relevant in some matchups, but in most matchups it's going to be a deck card. Tentacles for arms. Yep. When your arm turns into tentacles, then you gotta see a doctor, and the doctor's gonna go like, I'm gonna rate this condition a 1 star because first of all, you're playing a 5 mana 2/2 weapon. Why the heck would you want to play a 5 mana worse Fire War Axe? Well, you want to return to hand. Okay, once it returns to your hand, are you gonna want to play another 5 mana worse Fire War Axe? Like, just why? No, you don't want to do that. No, 1 star. Not good. Finally, we got Malkorok. 7 mana 6/5 Battlecry, equip Tentacles for arms. Oh my god, no. Alright. So, like, we know that Blingtron is actually pretty decent, right? In terms of, like, there were a couple of aggro decks that ran Blingtron. It's actually pretty nice when you get a random weapon. And there are a lot of weapons that are bad that are rotating out on GVG, right? Like, GVG had a lot of bad weapons. So, this is actually not bad. The body is not bad as well, 6/5. The problem with this card, though, is that you don't know what kind of attack weapon you're getting, right? Sometimes you get a Light's Justice, sometimes you get a Gorehowl. Who the heck knows? Gladiator's Longbow is still in the game. On average, it's going to produce a good weapon. So the saving grace is that you can always use the weapon to hit something and execute it afterwards. Like, that's the saving grace. So this card is not bad. I would rate it as like a 3 stars. It's not a bad legendary, I guess. But the fact that it's so variable might be a problem. Alright, well, finish the classes, perfect. And now, onwards to the neutrals. And after we do the neutrals, I think the game should be ready by then. Yeah. First of all, we have the Tentacle of N'Zoth. Tentacle of N'Zoth. It's a 1 mana 1/1 death row, deal 1 damage to all minions. So it's a delayed whirlwind. I don't see this game played. Why would you want to play like a bad Explosive Sheep? Like, Explosive Sheep is rotating out, I guess. but dealing 1 damage to everything doesn't come up too often. You can't really even kill this off yourself. So yep, 1 star. Next card. That was not too exciting. Anyways, we got Zealous Initiate. Zealous Initiate is a 1 mana 1/1. Give a random friendly minion +1/+1. So it's kind of like a 2/2, but it needs to die. And you play this on turn 1. You look like a fool. Also a 1 star. Not good enough. It's just really just not good enough. Swarm deck even, it's not good enough. Like a 1 mana 1/1 that produces a 1/1 is much better. So I would rather play Argent Squire or even Doug instead of this. Beckoner of Evil. Beckoner of Evil is a 2 mana 2/3. Battle card, give your Cthulhu +2/+2. It's so interesting that Beckoner of Evil might be like your core card, right? You don't really want to play 2 mana 2/3s with no effect text. Like that happens immediately. So stuff like Flame Juggler is good. You know, stuff like spell damage +1 is good. This doesn't really do anything on the board, but it does synergize with your game plan. So it's a 3 stars. You are going to play this on your Cthulhu decks. And yeah, there's not a lot of 2-drop options. This is one of the better ones for Cthulhu. Biofilm Tidehunter, 2 mana 2/1, Murloc. You summon a 1/1 ooze with taunt. Yeah? So it's exactly the same as Tidehunter, but instead of another Murloc, you get a taunt. You get to have a taunt Murloc, but it's not a Murloc. I mean, it's kind of fire-ish in that sense. But then you think about it and go like, wow, when is Tidehunter played ever in Standard or in Constructed? 1 star, moving right along. No, even though you're super cute, you're still 1 star. Twilight Geomancer, 2 mana 1/4 taunt. Battlecry, give your Cthulhu taunt wherever it is. When you play Cthulhu, why do you need taunt? Like, you're playing Cthulhu, you're probably gonna win the game this turn or the next turn, anyways, right? So giving your Cthulhu taunt is actually irrelevant. So how good is a 2 mana 1/4 taunt? Well, Rimworth's Agent was a 2/4 taunt and it wasn't crazy, right? It wasn't like insane balls or anything. So no, I wouldn't want to play a 1/4 taunt that doesn't do anything. So 1 star, not good. Dustspore, 2 mana 4/1 that gets pinged, 1 star. Twisted Worgen, 2 mana 3/1 with stealth. Now that's a little bit better than just, you know, playing it on the board. Aggro decks might play this, maybe, because it is 3 attack. It is pretty relevant. Strictly worse than Druid Saber, obviously. But if this is available to like hunters, you know, and classes that go Smork, it might be relevant. Once again, Leper Gnome is a 1/1 now. We only have Abusive Sergeant, so and 2 drops are kind of meh, right? So a 3/1 stealth might just make the cut. So let's give this a 2 stars, just because it might see play. This is obviously 5 stars. Twilight Elder, 3 mana 3/4. At the end of your turn, give your Cthulhu +1/+1 wherever it is. 3 mana 3/4, you're already pretty happy about playing that, right? The problem with this card actually is that when you count the payoff cards, for Cthulhu, they all say if your Cthulhu has 10 or more attack, then something happens, right? The problem with Twilight Elder is that it needs to proc twice for it to be like +2, right? And if this dies as a +1/+1, then you only play the 3/4 and you're not really enabling Cthulhu. So that's one of the more awkward situations. It's still a 3/4, so it still gets 3 stars. Like you're pretty happy playing 3/4, but that situation should come out a little bit. Squirming Tentacle, a 3 mana 2/4 taunt. Like, when is a 3 mana 2/4 taunt good again? I just don't believe it. That's actually good. It's a neutral, so everybody can play it, and obviously it's a worse Fierce Monkey, right? It has 1 less attack than the ooh 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 ah ah ah. So I really like it, and there's so many better choices in the 3 mana slot. So we're just gonna give this 1 star. Spawn of N'Zoth. Oh man, she's awesome. Look at that. 3 mana 2/2 Death Rattle, give your minions +1/+1. So when it dies, it casts a Power of the Wild. How often are you gonna have a board and have this and be killing this and buffing your min? Oh my god, that's just not happening, right? It's just so many things need to work out with this card to be good. I'm just gonna give this 1 star. Your opponent can also like clear everything and then kill this, or even just better yet, just kill everything with an AOE and then this dies. No, 1 star. And yes, it is a she. Polluted Hoarder, 4 mana 4/2, Death Rattle, draw a card. Draw a card. Cards are always relevant. I mean, it's fine, but it's a 4 mana 4/2. Why would you want to play a 4 mana 4/2? And why would you all want to play a 4 mana 2/4 that trades for 3/2s with the case of Noble Adventure and draw the card immediately? So yeah, Polluted Hoarder does suffer a lot from all these problems, and it's just a little awkward, right? So we're gonna give this 2 stars just because it draws a card. It's relevant. Infested Torn, 4 mana 2/3 taunt, Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 slime. So you can't really say that this is a 4/5. I kind of think this is like a 2/5, right? Because it's a 2/3 in the first body and it's 2/2 in the second body. It's always 2 attack. It never becomes 4 attack. You don't want to play a 2/5. And well, it has taunt, it has Death Rattle. Maybe it synergizes with some Nizolf decks or some Death Rattle decks, but no, 2 stars, not good. Evolved Kobold, 4 mana 2/2, spell damage +2. Just because you increase a card by 2 mana doesn't mean it should have the same stats and just have spell damage +1. Oh god, this is bad. 1 star. No. Spell damage +2 is not what you want. Thanos is what you want. Ooh, Cthulhu's Chosen. Now this is an interesting card. It has 4 mana 4/2 Divine Shield, and Battle Cries give you Cthulhu 2 stats. It's interesting because this is the card that is most similar to Shredder, right? This Shredder is a little bit weirder. It's a 4/1 for the first body, and then a 4/2 for the second body. And it's always gonna be a 4/1 to a 4/2. Shredder is kind of like weird, right? All around the board. But you're always gonna get this kind of thing. Very good against warriors, right? Against decks that can't deal 1 damage properly is insane. Like, imagine you play this against Priest. Priest is just gonna cry. And the effect test is actually pretty relevant. So we're gonna give this a 3 stars. It's actually pretty good. Very close to 4 stars, but still like a 3 star, since, you know, people can still deal with it. You know, Slam can still deal with it, Hero Powers can still deal with it. But it's a nice card. I like it. Oh god, Aberrant Berserker, 4 mana 3/5. Enraged, I don't know how it lost an attack. It's +2 attack. That's weird. It should be +3 attack. No? This is weird. So once again, when are you gonna play a 4 mana 3/5 that enrages +2 attack? I don't see this being like ever relevant. When you play a 4 mana 3/5, it has to do something pretty spectacular, right? Like Elise or something, or like Fandro or something like that. So 1 star. You're not gonna play this in standard. Hope you don't open this in the pack. Hello. Psychotron, 5 mana 3/4, Taunt Divine Shield. This is your new Belcher, in the fact that the first body is a 3/1 and the second body is a 3/4, right? It's actually pretty interesting in that this is actually an aggressive card. This is not a defensive card. Taunt Divine Shield, when you combine Taunt and Divine Shield in the same card, it's very aggressive in the fact that it protects your minions and it gets to deal 3 damage to something at the cost of only 1 health. So yeah, this is a much more aggressive Belcher. It's actually not too bad. I would give this a 3 stars. It actually might see play because at the 5 drop, there's not a lot of options you can pick, right? Belcher's gone, Lothep's gone, and well, if you want a 5 drop and you want something that not only protects you sometimes, it can protect your minions sometimes, it can be aggressive sometimes, it's fine. It's good. We'll play this card. Called Apothecary. It's a 5 mana 4/4, so you're paying the stats, definitely. And Battle Cries, for each enemy minion, restore 2 health to your hero. The times where you want to heal yourself are like against what? Against aggro and against freeze mage. And wow, if your opponent still has a board and when you're facing it against aggro, then you're just probably dead, right? So your opponent's probably not gonna have a board. It's gonna, in the late game at least, they're gonna be probably playing like burn spells and like weapons to kill you. So this is not gonna work at all. The other flip side is the freeze mage side, where freeze mage doesn't play minions at all. So this is not gonna work at all. So because this doesn't work at all, we're gonna give this 2 stars. The only way that this works is against Zoo, I think, right? And even then, it's not too insane. You want to play an AoE and actually solve the problem instead of stalling the problem. Nerubian Prophet, 6 mana 4/4. At the start of the turn, reduce this card's cost by 1. So it's a 6-mana card, first of all. So if you draw this, God, it's bad, right? If you draw this, it's actually pretty abysmal. If you start with this, well, it's not bad, right? If you start with this, it's the start of your turn. It's 5 mana, and then your second turn is at 4 mana, and then turn 3 is a 3 mana. So you can actually play this at turn 3, which is cool. 3 mana 4/4 is nice. However, yeah, once you top deck this, you're gonna be really sad. So that's my initial reaction. However, there is one thing that a lot of people fail to recognize with this card. It's the fact that if you start with this card, you don't need to play at turn 3. Now that actually boggled my mind when I thought when that actually came out, right? Like when I thought about that, I was like, wow. Imagine if you start with this card and then you don't play this until turn 6. You're playing a 0 mana 4/4. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Some extra synergy with the Shaman Evolve deck as well. So you might actually, do that. But the 0 mana 4/4 is actually pretty interesting. So then you extend this a little bit further, right? You go like, okay, if I top deck this, and then if I don't play it for a long time, I can then play a 0 mana 4/4 soon. Well, obviously, the later it gets, the worse it gets. So, I don't know. If you start with these in your opening hand, you can just curve out and just play 0 mana 4/4s at turn 6. That's interesting. So, with that, it gets 2 stars, alright? It was about to get 1 star because of its awkwardness, but with that clause, I think it deserves 1 more star. So let's do 2 stars. 1 star. Ball Creeper is actually not too bad, right? 7 mana 60 taunt, right? Dr. Boom is rotating out. In a ramp deck, you might want to play this. It's definitely much worse. Like Ancient of War is definitely better, stuff like that. So, like 2 stars at least. This gets at least 2 stars. It's actually not bad. Very fringe though. Very, very fringe. You're not playing an 8 mana vanilla minion. That is not happening. 1 star. You're not playing a 10 mana vanilla minion. That is a 1 star. Alright, almost to the rares. Now, the rares are pretty exciting, actually. We start with the Panda, Disciple of Cthulhu. Battlecry, deal 2 damage. Give your Cthulhu +2/+2. Wow. WoW has Argent Horse Rider got so much better. That is good. I like this. This is exciting. Because, like, it actually bypasses taunt, too. So, aggro decks might actually play this instead of Argent Horse Rider. And when you know that the first text is good enough, then you know it's a good card, because it also has a second effect, right? Give it Cthulhu +2/+2 as well. Wow, this is amazing. Like, this is so good. The fact that it bypasses taunt, and that this is your Horse Rider for your Cthulhu decks is amazing. 4 stars for me. Very, very good card. I like it. Silithus Swarmer, 3 mana 3/5. So you're playing a 4 mana card, but can only attack if your hero attack this turn. Very hard to make this work out. Like, the condition of your hero attacking is actually pretty big, right? Because there will be some time where your hero can't attack anymore, and your opponent's just gonna ignore this. So this is gonna be 2 stars for me. I believe it's not that good. Even if this could be a 4/5 and could have been much better, right? I think it would have been still balanced as a 4/5, but as a 3/5, yeah, not too good. Blackwater Pirate, 4 mana 2/5. Your weapons cost 2 less. At first glance, I was like, holy Jesus, bad, right? Why would you ever want to play a 4 mana 2/5 minion? But you do get the 2 mana back. So, for example, if you play Warrior and you play this guy, and then you get a Free Fire War Axe, it's actually not bad, right? You get a 2 mana 2/5 in that sense. It's reasonable. But yeah, once again, it does suffer from that. You do need a weapon, and you need a weapon. That's it. That's enough to make it bad, I think. I don't think this is too insane a card. Let's give it 2 stars and move on. Midnight Drake, perfect. A reverse Twilight Drake, and it gains attack in each card you had instead of health. Wow, noticeably worse than Twilight Drake, because health is much more important than attack. And if you silence this, it's even worse, because the 4/1 is better than the 1/4. Right? It's just how it is. I guess it's pretty cool if you can play this in a Reno handlock, I guess. But then you're also getting a 9/4 or an 8/4. Like, how often is a 9/4, 8/4 good? Well, it does trade for some big things, and it does pressure pretty well. But that's weird, right? You're wrapping your cards in your hand, and you want to do aggressiveness. That's like, the wrong game plan. You take 2 of the wrong game plans together, right? So because of that, we're just gonna give this a 2-star. It does have a little bit of potential though, so yeah, maybe it'll come up. Oh god, now we have Eater of Secrets. Oh god, 4 mana 2/4. Battle card, destroy all enemy secrets. Gain +1/+1 for each. This is a 1-star. Because, well, why would you ever want to play a 4 mana 2/4? You don't. This is terrible. This card is definitely important though, because in the meta where Freeze Mage and Secret Paladin are both in the meta, then this becomes a 2-stars. But if and only if that happens, right? If that doesn't happen, if both Freeze Mage and Secret Paladin are not both popular, then this card is just trashed here. They need to be both popular, because you can still be Freeze Mage without this card. You can still be Secret Paladin without this card, right? Just like, you don't want to do this. This is just bad. And even decks that want to have this card in them are Reno decks, right? You don't want to play this in your normal deck. This is just like very bad. Very, very bad. Don't want this. 1-star, and only if the meta is correct, 2-stars. Corrupted Healbot, 5 mana 6/6. Different, restore 8 health to your enemy hero. Outside of shenanigans with like Arcanine Soul Priest and whatnot, you're playing a 5 mana 6/6. You don't even need this text, and you can play a 5/6, right? There's so many vanilla creatures with 5/6 that have like the, you know, restore 10 health to your hero. If you have Cthulhu, if you have 10 stack Cthulhu, you have like the 5/6 for Warlock. There's so many 5/6 vanilla creatures now that this card is actually just not needed. And 8 health to your enemy hero is actually quite something. The argument for Zombie Chow is that restoring 5 health to your enemy hero is not too relevant, because you're facing it as aggro decks anyways, and you're playing this on turn 1 anyways. When you play this at turn 5 against an aggro deck and they kill this, damn, that's bad. You actually gave them so much more time to actually do stuff, right? So restoring 8 health here to the enemy hero is a bad and a big enough disadvantage that I don't want to play this card. And there's enough 5/6s and 6/5s that I don't want to play this card. 2-stars for me. Arcanine Shenanigans is the only way that this card is actually relevant. Corrupted Seer, of course, is 6 mana, and very, very thematic, right? 6 mana 2/3, battle card, deal 2 damage to all non-Murloc minions instead of giving all Murloc minions 2 health, right? So it's pretty thematic, but you're playing a 6 mana, deal 2 damage to everything, that gives you a 2/3. Very expensive for the cost, and sometimes you might even hurt your own minions, right? Murloc decks might not all play Murlocs. You might want to play something like, you know, you still want to play Udamon, for example. You still want to play good cards. So the fact that it's actually like mirrored is actually noticeably worse, and it doesn't hit face. So Corrupted Seer gets a 2-stars for me. Skiram Cultist. When you compare Skiram Cultist, a 6 mana 7/6 that buffs your Cthulhu for 2 stats, you look at the Dark Arco and go like, wow, Dark Arco is good, right? This does not have taunt. This is a 7/6 vanilla creature in a sense. You do not want to ramp your Cthulhu at 6 mana. You want to be playing, you know, your other stuff that rewards you instead. So yeah, Skiram Cultist gets a 1-star for me. Don't play this card. Not good. Doom Caller, 8 mana 7/9. But give your Cthulhu +2/+2. If it's dead, you get to shuffle it into your deck, so you get to Cthulhu twice. Now the question is, why the heck do you need to Cthulhu twice? When you Cthulhu once, you already won the game. So this is just an 8 mana 7/9 that gives you Cthulhu +2/+2. And why would I want to play 8 mana 7/9? I do not want to do that. Not good enough. Just not good, right? 8 mana, you want to play your Tyrians, your Ragnaroses, you know, your Groms. The second part of this text is nothing. It's just give your Cthulhu +2/+2. This might as well have no text, and it's exactly the same card. So, yeah, bad card. I don't like it. 1-star. Twilight Summoner, 4 mana 1/1. Now we're onto the epics, by the way. Summon a 5/5 Faceless Destroyer. So, a lot of people are... It's an awkward Nerubian egg, right? It's not necessarily a 6/6. It's a 1/1 that defiles a 5/5. So it's kind of like a 4 mana 5/5 that takes 1 turn to get ready. And if you combine all of these, it's a little awkward, right? When you want to play a card, you want to play a 4 mana 4/5 immediately, right? Or a 4 mana 5/4 immediately. You don't want to wait a turn. This does have a little bit of synergy with your Death Rattle decks, I guess. Dissolve, putting this back is okay. Raptor on this is pretty okay. It is 4 mana, right? So you're not going to Raptor on turn 3. You're going to Raptor on turn 5, so it's okay. All these okayness with the 1/1 makes me think that this is just a 1-star card. It just takes time, and taking time is not what you want to do in Hearthstone. You don't have time. Faceless Shambler, 4 mana 1/1 taunt. Battlecry, copy a friendly minion's attack and health. The fact that it can only target your own friendly minions is a big problem, right? On an empty board, it's not gonna work. Obviously, you can have some orgasmic value if you play this alongside a 7/7 or Izera even. It gets pretty crazy. Maybe you can play this on Ancient Watcher, but the fact that it does require a target makes this so bad, right? Faceless, sometimes you can just play it on your opponent's minion, right? And that's just like much better. So Faceless Shambler is just not good. I get this 1-star. Probably not gonna see play. Cyclopean Horror. It has 1 eye. I was just about to say 1-star. 4 mana 3/3 taunt. Battlecry, gain 1 health for each enemy minion. So for it to be good, it needs to at least target 2 minions. So it's a Senjin Shieldmaster. So why would you want to play this over Senjin? It's because you believe that the meta has decks that have 3 or more minions always when you play this. And then you think about it and go like, when am I going to play this and my opponent has 3 minions and I'm not losing already? Oh damn, I'm not. So this is a 1-star. Dark Speaker. Wow, this is a weird card. 5 mana 3/6 Battlecry, swap stats of a friendly minion. This is very, very weird in the fact that you're playing a 3/6 charge for 5 mana, and then this becomes the bad stats, right? You get what I mean? This actually has a lot of potential to be good. You play this on like a Mana Tide totem, and suddenly the Mana Tide is something. But then like this becomes a 0/3, and then this becomes kind of useless, right? You get what I mean? And then you say like, oh wait a minute, what if I silence this? And then this becomes a 3/6. Wow, like you get what I mean? Like this card is so weird. I love the design of this card because it's just weird enough, and that you can like have so many interesting mechanics to deal with this card that it's interesting. So I'm actually gonna give this like a 3 stars, just because the interesting interactions might be abused to the fact that it becomes a good card. I might be a little bit over optimistic about this one, but I love the design enough that I'll give this a 3 stars. Crazed Worshipper, 5 mana 3/6 taunt. Whenever this minion takes damage, you give it Cthulhu +1 stats. It's okay. I mean, 5 mana 3/6 taunt is kind of what you want in the Cthulhu deck anyways, because you want to survive until then. The 3/6 stats is definitely a big drawback, right? 5 mana 3/6 is not what you want to play. It's like this is exactly like a Fang Creeper, and Fang Creeper, while it's okay, it's just okay. Now that Belch is rotating out, this is a little bit better. So that's all I can say. So I would still give this a 2 stars though. You don't want Fang Creeper in your deck. So 2 stars is what this card is. Validated Doomsayer. Oh my goodness. You play a 0/7 for 5 mana, and it becomes a 7/7 if it doesn't get touched for 1 turn. How often does that come out? No, not often, right? I mean, it's just not happening. 1 star just gets cabaled and stuff like that too. It just I don't like this. 4 mana 7/7 Shaman card is the standard now, and the 5 mana 0/7 is not good. No, I wouldn't want to play this. Scaled Nightmare, 6 mana 2/8 dragon. That's interesting. At the start of your turn, double this minion's attack. So when you get to go around on your turn, it's a 4/8, and then on the next turn it's an 8/8. So you're playing a 6 mana 8/8. And how impressive is a 6 mana 8/8? It's not impressive at all, right? It's still not too impressive. So you have to do something to like make this crazy, right? This has to be somewhat crazy, I guess. Combo decks maybe, but still no. I just don't like this. You're just trying so hard to make this work. 1 star. Thank you. Let's just get 100 dust on this card. Ancient Harbinger. 6 mana 4/6 at the start of your turn. Put a 10 cost minion from your deck into your hand. So you basically draw a card. If this lives, it's a 6 mana 4/6. I don't want to play a 6 mana 4/6 that sometimes draws a card, sometimes doesn't draw a card. And I don't want it to actually draw a 10 cost minion because I can't even play that anyway until late game. 1 star. Don't like this card. Blood of the Ancient One. If you control 2 of these at the end of the turn, merge them into the Ancient One. Oh my god, an Ancient One is a 30/30. If you have a 9/9 that survives and hits face, you're probably winning already. You do not want to make two 9/9s into a 30/30. Like, a 30/30 is insane, don't get me wrong. If you get 30/30, you win the game. But don't you already win the game if you have 2 9/9s anyways? You get what I mean? Like, you win the game already of 2/9/9s. And the fact that the 30/30 is a bit more susceptible to like saps and like removal and stuff like that makes me want 2/9/9s instead. So let's not play this card, okay? 1 star. I love this card. I think this card is so insane. This is like Unstable Portal, okay? Why is this like Unstable Portal? It's because you don't even need to cast it. It sits in your hand and it becomes the Unstable Portal, a random minion. Now, why is this better than Unstable Portal? Oh, first of all, why is this worse than Unstable Portal? Because, well, it's not a spell, so it doesn't proc Flamewaker and stuff like that. And it doesn't get a super discount. It doesn't cost 1 less than you paid for it, right? My argument is that this is better than a Unstable Portal. My argument is because if this card transforms into something you don't like, you can just not cast it and just cast Unstable Portal again next turn for free. Oh my god, this is like a control deck's wet dream. I love this card as a control card. I'm gonna play this card the first thing ever. Just so good. I'm so excited about this card. Obviously, you're not gonna play this in your aggro decks. Even in mid-range decks, you're probably not gonna play this, but in control decks, this is just Craigasm. Like, the fact that this can become a legendary of your choice is really, really good. I'm gonna give this a 4 stars. Love it. Nat the Dogfisher. 2 mana, 2/4. At the start of your opponent's turn, they have a 50% chance to draw an extra card. Why would you want to give your opponent an extra card and play a 2 mana, 2/4? Are you kidding me? Like, this is so bad. Like, you don't even want to play this in Mill Rogue because this might not happen. And if it plays on turn 2, they might have more answers for you anyways. This is so bad. Like, how is this just not, like, bad? Okay, 1 star, moving right along. Mukla, Tyrant of the Veil. 6 mana, 5/5. Add 2 bananas to your hand. This would be very good in a world without Sylvanas and Emperors and, like, your good 6 mana, 5/5s. Adding 2 bananas to your hand makes this like an 8 mana, 7/7. You know, you do need to abuse the bananas a lot, right? How do you abuse the bananas? Auctioneer, twins, you know, stuff like that. But even then, it's not that good, right? So, like, you would rather play Emperors than Sylvanas, and even your Karens, for example. So, Mukla, I'm not really excited about this card too much. I would give this a 2 stars, just because it's fringe. Oh, baby. They said they're never going to print any more Dr. Brooms and Dr. Sevens, right? So now let's have an Emperor 7. Oh my god, is this card good. Holy Jesus Christ on the highway. 7 mana, 4/6. Taunt. Battlecry. If a Cthulhu has 10 stats, summon another 4/6. How in the world is 7 mana, put 2 Druid of the Claws and play bad? Like, that's just nuts so. Are you kidding me? That's so crazy. Oh my god. Like, if you're playing a Cthulhu deck, you only have 28 cards to choose from. You're playing Cthulhu and you're playing Turn Emperor. There's no way in heaven you're not playing Turn Emperor in a Cthulhu deck. And there's no way at turn 7 this is not the best play you can do. Are you just joking? Right? So good. 5 stars immediately. You're playing this in a Cthulhu deck and you are liking it. My god. Just look at this card. 2/4/6 taunts? Come on. Alright. Hogger Doom of Elwood. 7 mana, 6/6. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/2 Ignore of Taunt. Now, this is a little bit better than Chopsword because Chopsword sometimes doesn't get you anything, right? The 7 mana, 6/6 is good because at worst, it's a 6/6 that death rattles into a 2/2. So, it's reasonable, but you're still not going to play this in Constructed too much. So, I would say this is the 2 stars. So, yeah, it's reasonable. One star. Sad. When you play an 8 mana 6/7, you're a little bit high. When you're trading with a 6/7, with an 8 mana card, you're also a little bit high. So, yeah. Solgoth, the Slitherer, is actually pretty interesting. 9 mana, 5/9 taunt. Can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. It's actually pretty interesting in that it's really good in control decks, right? They can't just remove it. And a 5/9, it's actually better than, like, you know, your Alex Straza sometimes. So I don't know. I feel like this card actually has a little bit of potential. And it's a little bit worse against mid-range decks and aggro decks because aggro you're not gonna live till turn 9. Like, it's not gonna happen. But in control decks, it's actually a fine card. So I think Solgoth is actually a 3. It's not even the worst against mid-range and in aggro too. So I give this a little bit okay. It's okay. Definitely Dragon Lord. 10 mana, 12/12. I don't know why you want to play this card too much. Most dragons have battle cries. And a 10 mana 12/12 that does nothing and just waits a turn is really bad. It's really hard for this text to come up because a 12/12 is probably not dying anytime soon. So I actually think this is, the more I look at it, the more I don't like it. I think this is going to be a 1-star. I think this is just too cutesy. Cthulhu is your standard. It's what this expansion is. Really good card. One of your win conditions. You're building a deck around it. I say this is really good. 4 stars. This is a good card. If you play this deck, building this card, you're building a deck around it. Dissolve is actually not as good as I previously thought, but it's still really relevant, right? In Rogue and Paladin, those are the two classes with a lot of death rattle, and it's actually pretty good, right? If you get a Tyrion or Sylvanas along with this card, it's actually pretty nutballs. Unfortunately, all the good death rattle minions have rotated out, so this is not as good as before, but still relevant. I would still give this a 4 stars. Yogg-Saron is a 10 mana 7/5, and you cast a random spell for each spell you cast this game. It's actually really good. I actually like this card. It's a win condition for your Miracle Rogues. But the randomness is a little bit awkward, right? So let's be honest here. It's a 2-star card, but you know, you might play it in ladder sometime. I don't think you're gonna bring Yogg-Saron into a tournament deck. If you do, then you probably look like him. And final card. Yasharaj, Rage Unbound. At the end of your turn, put a minion from your deck into your battlefield. It's a 10 mana 10/10. I don't know. I feel like this clause doesn't feel like it comes up too often. Because if you're playing a 10 mana 10/10 that fishes a card for something, you're just getting a 10 mana 10/10, right? Not too exciting, and Varen Rin is not played that much anyways. So I would just like that's the main thing, right? Varen Rin is not played, so I wouldn't say this is good. I would give this a 2 stars, and then you know, that's that. All right, good. Hope you guys enjoyed the card review, and I'll see you in Whispers of the Old Gods.